We're starting off high.
We can get a two fools agree on that one. Oh, by the way, look, we got the wide shot.
There was you had accountability. Now what I can
Now all you need is a podcast and a YouTube channel.
No, not even.
Where give me the money. Show me the money.
Apparently there's a Foolproof page.
Shoot the J. Shoot it. Live on Facebook.com/Foolproof Entertainment Network. I need you on Twitter. I need you to repost the Facebook pages.
To raise a human before I would
trust human to raise back wolves.
before I would trust a pack of humans to raise wolves.
Right. I hear you. Yo, welcome back to Do Fools Agree. I am your host, Michael Reggio, as always, here with my main man, Cliff. Cliff, how you doing?
I survived.
You survived another week?
I survived. I mean, I won't get into it. Right now. I'll wait until we start the show.
Okay.
But I
Man,
mean,
you got some deep shit.
Right?
I wouldn't say that.
And then we've got Aaron joining us from Atlanta once again. Aaron, how's it going down there in Atlanta?
Hey, everybody.
You fool.
What's going on? How you feeling, my G?
Man.
You already know, man. I'm out here in the land of the lost.
That's
right?
what I was about to say.
You know what
How
I'm saying?
you feeling with the police on strike? Ain't that how it's going down there?
I mean, I don't know if you noticed or not. When you call the police, they don't come to the hood. So.
Right. Yeah, right.
So do you even notice? Like, is that a whole? If the
I be seeing what they did do. They looted. There's a Walmart next to me. They looted the Walmart. They came in there with guns and shit, whatever. Because Walmart supports police out down here or in America. I don't know.
Right. Well,
I'm
sure they do.
They ran up in there, started stealing random shit, and they had to board up the windows for like 2 days at the Walmart, whatever.
Gotcha.
I was trying to get some socks.
You better hit the DG. What you going to Walmart for?
Right.
Getting the N1 socks.
Oh, okay.
He's got to get his name
You know
brand.
what I'm saying?
I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
Trying to support the small businesses, man.
I get it.
Listen,
I get it.
What that is, then you would be buying them from Jockey. You'd be buying the Jockey socks like everybody else. Buying N1. I guess N1 is a small business, isn't it?
I got on N1 basketball shorts right now.
Do you really?
Yeah, man. $6.99.
There you go.
I don't even know the name brand of mine. I like them.
I was about to say, I don't know. I couldn't tell you the name brand on any of my shorts. I do have a couple pairs of Under Armour. I rock with the Under Armour shit.
I mean, I got some Nike shorts, I believe. Yeah, I got a couple pairs of Nike joints.
Well, I guess it depends whatever the football team has, because that's 90% of my athletic shorts is the swag that I get from coaching.
I didn't know they gave free shit away around
They
that
do to
area.
coaches.
I know that's right.
Damn. So they give you like shirts and sweatsuits and shit? And
Usually we'll get a couple of t-shirts and a couple pairs of shorts, or at least a pair of shorts. He always tries to buy us fucking shoes, and the head coach gets like these fucking Adidas shoes
Like
that
Asics?
I swear that are like
Is that what
this
those
narrow.
are called? Asics?
No, I'm talking about these are Adidas shoes. Like,
Oh, okay.
if I had normal size feet, they'd be fine, but they're like this fucking narrow.
Right.
And we've had this
Oh,
conversation. I need the wide foot.
I can't wear it. Yeah. I feel you on
And
that.
I've even gotten the 14 or the 15s.
We can agree
with
on
them,
that. I don't even know if they sell a lot of wides.
Right?
In my size. You feel what I'm saying? I know you ain't got no narrow foot motherfucker. You a
right.
big
He's
foot
like me.
over there.
Nah. I wear size 14, but I fit J's like, as long as they're size 14.
That's all I wear is J's because they're usually wider.
Right,
than
exactly.
Any other shoe.
Now I rock the Monarchs, the old man Nikes.
Oh my God, no, Mike.
I don't know what those even are.
I know what that is. I know what that shoe is, Mike. You better not wear a shoe.
Listen,
I have
no idea.
Hey man, I'm looking for comfort. At least
I'm
not rocking the New
old
Balances.
Man, you ain't far from. You could ask the DMV, you could put some style on New Balances that you can't put on them specific. What
the
are
Monarchs.
They called? Listen, I know if they named them Monarch, they probably aren't too appealing to the eye. All right.
Look, Cliff, it's that shoe that old man is wearing when he's walking in the park in a loose windbreaker. You know what I'm saying?
You're not wrong.
It's that white shoe with the little ass Nike sign on it.
Right,
it is.
very small.
It is.
And the sole is thicker.
Yes, it is. They are comfortable as fuck.
Orthopedic.
Fuck all y'all.
Hey, we at that age where you gotta start buying comfort.
It's the comfort stuff.
Listen, but you can get
It hurt my
comfort
knees.
in all kinds of shits. I tell you what, they didn't tell me that Jay's made running shoes.
Who? LeBron?
Jordan makes running shoes. Running shoes. Like some of his shoes ain't
they
even
make
leather.
everything.
I buy the fuck out of those. Them is the most comfortable.
I finally did. They do make a wide set of Adidas running shoes.
Listen, I'm
and
a running shoe kind of guy nowadays.
My shoe used to be the Brooks. They actually have a shoe called the Beast, which is specifically designed for big motherfuckers. And
listen, between the Beast
and
the
just up there.
Monarchs,
Right?
You gotta buy your shit at the motherfucking Greek mythology store. What the fuck kind of store you buy?
I buy it at the fiefdom.
He buying them TJ Maxx shoes, man. Them the Marshall shoes and Burlington Coat Factory.
Right. Oh, we got Jason in the house. Jason shooting us up in the chat. Hi. And then he said, "You know what they say about big feet? You can be me and only wear memory foam slippers."
Hey, shopping. I'm a size 14, right? And I feel Mike Payne because you go to the mall. And it's just like a foregone conclusion that they don't have.
Yeah, they don't have your shit.
What would you go there for?
No.
Because you go there with your friends. They shop for shoes. You're like, all right, I'm
gonna check.
But depending on the shoe,
that's why you end up with the Monarchs. Because that's the only one they have in 14.
Listen,
let me get that in the 14, bro.
I be walking out that bitch with 4 pairs of socks on. You got me fucked up. They be like, he's barefoot, but them socks is beefy.
Hell no. He's sliding all over the ground and shit. Ain't got no grip.
Listen, slide like Tom Cruise in this bitch. You got me fucked up. Risky business.
So Cliff, you got any inadvertent thoughts this week?
I do. I think I have a 1 or 2.
All right, what you got? Let's see.
Let's see here. Let me grab my notes. Oh, those are questions. Okay.
This is great radio, Cliff.
Okay. No, let me get the. Okay. Listen. I'm getting it. Okay.
Who stole my notebook?
Right.
Where my teeth
Oh,
at?
I know what I did. I know what I did want to do. Okay.
What's that?
Fucking inadvertent. I wanted to take this time to address something that has been heavy on my soul. And now that my father was on the previous episode and I have more family listening to the show, I would like to take the time to educate. Because I've come to the conclusion that everybody already knew it. Old folks don't know how to use social media, right? Like,
well, neither do you. So
now there's a difference. There's a difference between not knowing how and choosing not to.
That's fair. Oh, by the way, we do have a foolproof. We have a foolproof Twitter now.
Okay, I'm gonna have to check that out.
And I think we've got an Instagram, although I can't find my email about it.
I don't even know how to do that.
Send me y'all's Instagram. We got I got an Instagram. I don't have Instagram. This is something I use.
Okay.
To, you know what I'm saying?
I'll hit you.
So I got one.
I'll hit you.
Listen,
I gotta find what I did with it. But
this is what I want to say. This is what I want to say.
At Foolproof Net. Sorry, Cliff. Go ahead.
You are absolutely fine. Whoever y'all are that are watching this show, make sure you spread the word to the entire fam. Please stop sending me fucking chain mail. Please stop sending me chain mail. Please.
Hey, go ahead and raise your glass up, man.
Listen, please.
I'm not sending this message to 10 other people. I'm not doing that shit.
Please. That's what, listen, I'm just saying. I'm saying, like, I don't care if it's a prayer. I don't care if it's a video of police brutality. I don't care what it is. I want to use this time to tell you what is appropriate to use direct messaging for. Please help. Like, please pass the word along. I'm talking to you, Grandma. I'm talking to everybody. I'm talking to all y'all. I'm talking to everybody.
I'm talking to you, Grandma.
I'm talking to... Listen, please. It's almost like the boy who cried wolf. Because it's to the point now where you can send me a real live message. And I'm not going to read it.
I'm not going to look
I'm
at
not
it.
even going to open it up. I'm not even going to open it up. Like sometimes, and it's funny because they'll catch me every now and again and it'll say something like real personal at the top. Like, wow, why did you? And then you click it and it's like a fucking, and I'm like, oh, you motherfuckers.
They tricked you.
Oh, you motherfuckers. And I get upset that I let them see that I saw that.
Right.
Like, why did I even let them know?
You leaving them on red?
Man, listen. So I'm saying, I just want to clear this up. For family only. This is for family only.
I see you, Malcolm.
The DMs. You can direct call me, or you can direct video chat me to catch up. Just to catch up. If you want to catch up, have a conversation, that's absolutely acceptable. I'll also accept any personalized message. But at this point, the only way I can see myself accepting a personalized message is if you put personalized message in all caps with the 2 dots and then start your message. If you do not follow these rules, I will not negotiate with terrorists. Because you're terrorizing me. I want you to know that.
You just gave him the game plan. Now you're going to get a whole bunch of personal messages. Shit, they got bullshit in there.
And that what? Listen. I'm gonna start unfriending everybody. 100. Everybody gonna be like, damn. I thought you did unfriend me. Isn't that some shit? Isn't that some shit? You can say racist shit, and I won't unfriend you for your views and beliefs. But you fucking chainmail me. You fucking chainmail me.
You're dead to me.
Listen, so if you're, let me explain to you what the direct message was intended for. Maybe you'd understand.
Here we go. This ought to be good.
These are the only acceptable reasons that you can direct message somebody. Shooting your shot. Are you shooting a shot? You can't be shooting your shot. We're family. Sexual requests. Once again,
we're family.
Shooting your shot, sexual request. Finally, trolling. I'll accept a troll or two.
Well, I think you just opened it up, chainmailing to all be trolling at this point.
Listen, family can, you can troll me that way, but you only be able to do it once, so the joke won't last. Is all I'm saying. Please. That's all I have to say.
No family pictures. No family pictures. No baby pictures.
Now, I would add a couple of other things in there. Like, you could direct message or text me to tell me someone died.
No!
Or that's a phone call.
No, you should call me.
I guess it depends on who it is.
I better not get no bling with some likes talking about, hey.
Listen, let me tell you, matter of fact, direct message me when motherfuckers die. And that means I'm going to miss the funeral and
everything.
Direct it. It'll be 6 months for our. They'd be like, people, we our tears are dry. Well,
damn, I just found out.
You see what crying wolf will get you. You see what crying wolf in somebody's DMs will get you. Okay, I got that off my chest.
Well, that's good. That's good. Aaron, what about
I'll say
you?
My other for now.
Got any inadvertence this week?
Mine kind of goes into a question, but I don't know. When you work out, man, you have profound thoughts while you basically killing yourself. No, and I was sitting there like, you know, like
you got a personal trainer?
I'm challenging myself.
Okay.
And I'm probably giving up too easy, but it doesn't feel like it.
Yeah. Right. No, I get it.
I always, you know, if I could ask God a question, I think everybody should be able to ask God one question. Like, you should be able to get one. Mine is, why are sins so pleasurable? Like, the very things that I like are, like, pretty much for the most part are sins, right? Sex is a sin, right? That's a setup. What do you want me to do? But all the best things in life, for the most part, you know, you got your family and all that type of stuff, but the things that you really like to do, they tend to be sins. And I'm wondering why they're so pleasurable. I mean, like, okay, so you're supposed to take care of your body, right?
Right.
I get that. But like cheeseburgers are delicious. I'm kind of addicted to sandwiches. Like, for real, like, if you put some in a sandwich, I'm probably going to eat it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm that type of person, like, oh, you know what I'm saying? And
I got you.
I just don't get why the things that you want to put me in hell for are the things that feel the best. Basically, you want me to have this life where I ignore all the things that make me feel good. And this is just me talking. I smoke, and, you know, I drink and all this, and I'm probably not the best person to explain this. But at the same time, I find pleasure in those things. Like simple things. Like, so if somebody says something stupid to you, I find pleasure in punching them in the face. It's not what you're supposed to do, but I would want to do that. That's what I want to do.
I understand that.
No, I get
turn the other cheek. You get what I'm saying? Like, everything that not everything, but most things that I do or want to do, I kind of have to hold back a little bit because it's a sin. Now, it doesn't mean I hold back from fucking. I ain't playing, you know. I'm just saying, like, you know. But they say that in church. They say you're born in sin. Why? Because the sexual act is a sinful act. Then why do you make nuts feel so good?
But if you believe in maybe I'm confounding Christianity and Catholicism, but as long as you atone and say, I'm sorry.
See,
isn't that all forgiven?
I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that. I think God got limits. I think God, like, yeah, I hear you.
No, I don't believe in that.
Now, see, I don't think God gives.
No, I don't believe in that. No, I don't believe in that either. I actually do believe in what you're saying, but I also believe that if I was, and listen, I know that that's something that is way too unimaginable. But if I was in the position of a higher power and I knew I gave y'all that out and you took advantage of it in that way, I would feel like, well, now I gotta kill you before you get a chance to apologize.
Here's my take on all that. All of that shit is written by man.
You're right.
Oh yeah, I know.
I mean,
that doesn't mean that you don't feel.
All written by man.
I don't believe in a lot of that.
And honestly, most of the major religions were established around how do you build a social contract.
Right.
The reason why you're not supposed to have sex outside of marriage in a social contract is that you can't have a bunch of orphan kids with no protector.
Right.
Kind of tying into our conversation from last week.
Right.
That's why.
What was our conversation last week?
We talked about traditionally masculine roles and the role of a protector.
Right.
So back in caveman times, or even back in the
all them
early
little bastards, if it's that many running around, how am I supposed to round up and protect and guard and fight off if it's 12 over here and 6 over there?
Here, right.
It's two niggas fucking. They fucking back behind them bushes right now. They're conceiving as we speak, and I'm not gonna be able to protect that little bastard either. So. On with your social contract.
That's the social contract.
There we go.
I mean, that's why you're seeing all the uproar right now. Go ahead, Aaron.
There's also the social contract. If you go back that far, of the alpha male who gets
True.
to have all the women that's
Right.
around him because they want the best of the genes.
Right.
And people was born fucked up back then too, and you don't fuck that nigga because your kid gonna come out fucked up with short
Well,
ass
you know
arms
what's
and shit.
funny though is what was it? I was watching it was Joe Rogan and what's his friend Chris Ryan?
I don't know.
I think his name's Chris
His-
Ryan
You got a lot of friends.
with the glasses, the older white haired dude with the glasses. He travels all the time. He has books. He wrote that book about
the Amazon dude.
yeah.
You talking about the Amazon? Yeah,
But
I
he
know
was talking about how like certain tribes were completely open, like in that the women would have sex with multiple men in one sitting because they would believe I want those traits from that man.
Well, and the best of the genes would find their way
I
through.
want the strength from this man, the humor of that man, the love and affection of this man, and I'm gonna try to combine all of that into one child.
Yeah. Which I think when you were back in more,
you be what? You be the funny.
I'll be the funniest nigga. Would your kids be funny?
You better be the strongest, the funniest, or the most gentle. I don't know. And I would still think the most gentle still ain't getting play.
Probably
Hell no.
Back then, because you're
Probably
useless.
True. Yeah. Yeah.
Even the women don't want a gentle man back then, because that's gonna get you killed. As a woman,
And me.
Right.
you know what I mean? I don't want you to make me soft. We gotta be able to see if these panthers and lions is on our ass. And if they are, get up and give us a head start.
Get going.
I don't want you rubbing my back while we both getting eaten alive because you trying to comfort me.
I think that type of thing is translated over generations to where there's people nowadays who are more, they're more courageous. Is courageous a word?
Courageous?
Courageous.
Courageous.
I was fucked up. Courageous. They're more courageous than people that are willing to do.
That'll jump on a grenade.
The utmost.
Shield a kid's classroom from a mass shooter type shit. I can't let nothing.
Then you got them.
I can't live with myself if I see anything happen to
like
a child.
That. Yeah.
A child
you
is
saw
where
that,
we draw the line with me. That's where I just can't. I can't.
You saw that punk ass cop that was at the school when the dude was shooting and he was in the cut. Like,
right.
I'm like that's.
And let the teachers die. Let the kids and the teachers die. Meanwhile, I'm collecting a check to be. That's not.
So that takes me to my inadvertent thought. My favorite topic as of late: the police.
Police.
I hate the police.
Tell me why. And I don't know that this. I think it came up maybe in our conversation. So maybe we did talk about it when we had our big episode.
That
a couple
came out
weeks
wrong.
ago.
That did come out wrong. I said I hate the police. Now while still probably very true, I meant to say I hate even putting them on my tongue.
Yeah, I hear you.
I don't want you on my tongue. I don't want to hear that word roll off of my lips.
I'm still trying to figure out why teachers have more ongoing professional development requirements than officers do. I'm still trying to figure out why it takes a 4-year degree in most countries to be a police officer, and in here it requires your GED in a 18-week course. So that was that was half of my inadvertent thought. My other half of an inadvertent thought is a tail on to my one from last week around actually I don't even remember if it was last week or the week before. Anyways, I think here's my hot take for the week. I think if you are over 55 and you voted and are planning to vote for Trump again, you should be required to go to rallies. You should go to every fucking rally that he has, because hopefully you catch COVID. And it's done. Because guess what? You can't vote then.
But what would the requirement be?
If you over 55 and you voted for Trump, you should have to go to every one of his fucking rallies and catch COVID.
Mike, that's diabolical, man. That's diabolical.
Because if you take away everyone over 55 that voted for him, guess what? He ain't winning any more elections.
Is that how they gonna greet each other at the rally? Got coughing each other real quick.
I mean, That's the thing that I like. Is it? What's gonna change if he's not in office? Like, ideally, what do you imagine changing if he's not in office?
Honestly, the big thing for me right now is education funding. Because the
but
way education's been handled.
We've been screaming that.
But we see better education funding when a Democrat's in power. When the Democrats hold the Senate and the House.
Now I can't.
Now, don't get me wrong. Democrats are also the ones that instituted things like No Child Left Behind, which buried some schools from a funding perspective. But
listen, I don't. You know what? See, this is, and I know we're fighting this issue right now with the whole Black Lives Matter, but this shit is way deeper than what you think, because it doesn't fucking matter if you're giving schools more money, just like it doesn't matter if you're giving police more money if there's still a school to prison pipeline.
Well, and it's funny you bring that up. Have you looked at the bill put forth by the Republicans in the Senate versus the bill put forth by Democrats in the House around police reform? It's all very surface level shit with the Republicans bill.
Regardless,
and we are talking about banning. And to your point, I'm not disagreeing, but you have to start somewhere. And Democrats will cut the police militarization pipeline right now.
So they
won't be rolling up with tanks and fucking tear gas and rubber bullets and all that kind of shit. And yes, you're right. That does not solve the issue of bias in the police force. But at least it takes some of the weapons out of their hands. It's a ban on chokeholds. It makes chokeholds the equivalent of lynchings.
I mean, if I'm being and that's good. That's good. But
you still don't get choked, though. Is what I'm saying. He's going to choke you regardless.
None of this matters because it doesn't matter if they demilitarize the police. I don't remember the last nigga that got killed by a tank.
No, you're right.
I don't remember the last time that a police...
But several of the last major ones that have at least made headlines, and I'm not saying that that's all of them, because we know it's not. Those are the ones that got caught on camera.
Right.
A lot of those were because of chokeholds. And if you make chokeholds and killing somebody via chokehold the same penalty as they're talking about for lynching, which is basically making it a federal hate crime, it's harder for cops to get out of that.
Can I put this on the table?
Go for it.
Can I put this on the table? You know how they got, I'm sure Bill Cosby deserves every year he's gotten, but he has a lot of people calling up from 20, 30 years ago about, hey, this happened and this happened. Right. I think if you're able to do that, if you know some police brutality from 30 years ago and you feel like you got the evidence, you need to come forward and say something, man, because I think this is the time where you can try to get your retribution, because everybody else has been doing it. People said something about a gay person 10 years ago.
But
they gotta apologize and do all this type of stuff.
They're not black. Like, let's stop acting like we live in this world. Listen, there's Brock Turners out there.
Agreed.
It doesn't work the same way for us.
I agree.
If a rape doesn't matter, then what the fuck do you think a Me Too matters? Or what do you think if you had enough evidence from 10 years ago of a police brutality?
But I think what you're seeing is it is mattering right now. Like, what's the one that's in Aurora, which is where the fucking theater shooter.
The Batman?
Yeah, the one that looked like fucking Carrot Top.
Oh, Colorado.
Yeah, Aurora, Colorado, yeah. And right now, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but over the last 4 or 5 days, there's been I think the kid's name was Elijah McClain or something like that. It almost seems like the kid was an autistic 23-year-old black kid. Killed by the police because they put, they restrained him with a chokehold, and then they put ketamine in him. And he had 2 heart attacks on his way to the hospital.
Wait, did we switch stories? I thought we were talking about the Batman dude. What happened to the...
Well, it's the same police department. So,
okay.
What's-his-face got brought in...
Right.
Completely unharmed after killing 10, 12, whatever it was in that theater. Right. And this was a kid who basically was just kind of eccentric and an introvert. That
he looked very square. He looked very square. Like, there's no mistake.
That's what I'm saying.
He looks very square.
The bottom line is...
But that was my whole point, though. That's a case that's 2 or 3 years old that is getting national attention right now, where, you can at least...
But see, I don't give a fuck about none of that. That makes no mind to me. If you're not going to stop it in the future, then why are we going back to the past? Like, it almost makes me feel look at what we're doing.
But do you understand that the first step in stopping it in the future is making them realize that it is a punishable offense? Because if they know that because right now, with qualified immunity and everything else, they don't think they can go to jail. Why? They don't think that they can be arrested. They don't think X, Y, and Z. Now that you're starting to... Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. The second part to that comparison is that I was also, because I agree with you in the fact that it may not matter if that happens, because I don't want to harp on Bill. I'm just saying he learned that from somebody.
Right.
You didn't just come up with that. You didn't get that from the streets of Philadelphia. You get what I'm saying? That's some rich. I learned this from somebody else shit.
Probably
they're not getting caught. Probably because they white. But you, Bill, we gonna get you. I'm saying, like, Bill was at the Playboy Mansion and shit all the time. I'm not blaming Hugh Hef for nothing, but he was cool there.
Right.
I'm definitely sure he was doing that shit then.
Well, you know that's the case. Like, you look at all the Hollywood producers where that's the big thing. Right.
I mean, but the way my mind works is I'm thinking that, and don't get me wrong, I'm not downplaying anything, but I'm thinking that that's light work compared to a lot of the shit that they're doing. Drugging a bitch, that's light work compared to Epstein Island and shit. The shit that they're doing. Like, this world is nothing is as it seems, baby. Mm-mm. That's one thing that you need to understand is nothing at all is as it seems. And if you think it's one way, trust and believe it's most likely 10 times worse.
Oh, no doubt. Because it's what you hear about is what they got caught with.
Period.
And guess what?
And you
I would not consider these dumb people. If you want to talk about police,
I would.
My buddy that I used to coach with, he's retired now, a retired CPD officer. Flat out said, we only catch the dumb ones. We only catch the stupid ones. Well, which means the only stuff that's getting caught and the only stuff that's on film are the ones that are stupid. Or where they had a dumb moment. Or they had somebody that fucked it up for them, which means they're dumb for trusting that person.
Right.
Most niggas get told on. That's usually
right.
Yeah, you are absolutely correct. You are absolutely correct when it comes to that, but... Switch topics, man. I don't like...
So we ready to restart the country?
I mean...
It's already restarted.
Yeah, it is. Although it's starting to go backwards in some places.
Hey, the way some of these people think of it is motherfuckers are gonna have to die.
Oh, no doubt. And I mean, you've already heard that from it's funny because it's all from the All Lives Matter crew.
What?
Until it's, old people have to be protected from COVID and then whatever.
Right. But listen, the meek shall inherit the earth. Why you think all these niggas out here protesting? And listen, they ain't no coughing.
Right.
They done been out there for a while now.
Well, what's funny is all the spikes and everything that they're actually saying, at least in a couple of the places where you're seeing a spike, they can't trace it to protests.
Right.
They're tracing it to like house parties and shit.
Right. You know what's gonna be crazy? You know what's gonna be even crazier is if the blacks and all the nice people out at the protest get herd immunity and all, everybody goes out thinking everything's cool, and the meek shall inherit the earth. I'm just saying. This shit is by design, baby.
It is.
This shit is by design. This ain't just the way. Listen, there's only so long that you can hold on to a script before that motherfucker run out of pages.
That's true.
And then you're not operating off of what you built. We're flying off the seat of our pants.
Yeah.
And right now we're coming into a time where it's not going as planned.
No.
This isn't as scripted by whoever the powers may be.
No, absolutely not.
This is out of your
hands.
hands.
I guess that kills our earlier theory around COVID being manufactured.
Well, no, I
don't think that's out the window.
No, I still think it was manufactured.
But that would be the powers that be.
Right.
And shit's going off the rails in spite of it because of it.
But let's be honest. Do you think there's more...
Sometimes you create your own monster.
That's true.
Sometimes you create your own monster.
There's more white or black people in China?
That's a good
I don't
question.
know about that.
I mean, it's probably white folks, but
I would imagine white folks, right? So all I'm saying is, and stick with me because this is a Hail Mary.
the but Asian cultures generally do love them some black men.
Not in their country.
The older generation doesn't. The younger generation definitely does.
Listen.
That's why the first thing that
them motherfuckers live to be old in a bit.
School or college here in the States, the first thing they want to do is hook up with a black dude.
It's usually solely.
Where's my buddy Carl? Carl, call in and weigh in on this one for me.
But all I'm saying is, I doubt that you would have as much research completed in China on the black, whether it be African or African American, as you would other races there.
That's probably
so
true.
If you were manufacturing something,
that's not who your target was. Is that what you're saying?
Even if that was your target, you missed. You feel what I'm saying? Like, let's be honest. The only reason why shit would spread here is because you got it stacked on top of each other like a deck of cards.
True.
That's just how it goes. We're stacked on top of each other wherever you go. Any city, state, it doesn't matter. We're on top of each other. So, of course...
That's the same thing with China, though. China has 1 billion people.
Their population density is definitely
which is why,
bigger.
wasn't it? It was heavier there, too, though, wasn't
That's
it?
also where it started, and
right.
where the outbreak.
But listen, where it started or not, like, at this point, I would imagine... At this point, I would imagine those numbers would start evening out.
They did. They're starting to see a little bit of a spike again.
Right. Like, regardless of how many
the thing is, and
China
Matt's talked about this here too.
Right.
You can't trust numbers coming out of China because they're.
I mean, you can't trust numbers here.
Coming from anywhere.
I hate why people always are trying to single it out to other places. This is we live with the biggest atrocitors.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Here in this country, and everybody's always like, "Well, don't trust Russia or don't trust." I would trust Russia or China before I would trust here.
I might be with you on China.
Oh, man, I don't know.
With you on Russia.
I'm not talking about TikTok.
Russia is a different place.
It is.
Listen, let's be honest. Russia's probably the most honest out of everybody.
Because everybody already knows what they're all about.
Russia is the most honest out of everybody. Let's not get that twisted. Russia has always embraced being the bad guy, if that's what you want to call me.
Yeah.
But they're looking at us like they're the bad guy.
Whereas we have the God and the hero complex.
Right, right. So let's be honest here. Like listen, it's one thing to be a nationalist. Love your country. I would love my country if it loved me. But love your country. But there's a difference between loving your country and being delusional to the fact that the devil's not standing on your fucking podium.
Yeah.
Everybody's worried about Putin and Kim Jong-un and all that. Meanwhile, trust and believe, Trump is just a puppet. He's just a puppet. He's pissing the same people off that we're pissed off at.
Oh, no.
Because they can't control him.
Right. Right. Well, and I think that's why you're seeing things like Republicans against Trump, and which is funny because Republicans against Trump is what? Rat. Like, come on, fellas, you gotta try harder. Do better. Do better. Do better.
Listen, I'm just saying, like, I hate it all. I hate all P words. Politics, PO words. PO words are out. Listen, if you have any.
All right, so what's a PO word that we can find that Cliff likes?
Let's do that.
You don't like pop? You're not a big pop drinker.
Don't pollen.
Hate pollen.
Politics. Police.
What about the postal service?
Hate the postal service. I'm more of an Amazon courier myself.
Little UPS.
Let's do that. Yeah. Let's get that 2-day free shipping.
Let's see. I'm running out of PO words.
Yeah, I hate them all. Post offense and defense. I hate that. I hate that in the NBA.
Pole, as in stripper pole.
I hate that.
You what?
Now you're reaching, man. Come on, man.
Now you crazy.
No, I don't hate the pole.
I got Steph in right there.
What the fuck do I need a pole for?
That's true.
I can do without a pole. I would come to a strip club if there was no pole.
The pole is the artistic part.
That's right.
You can do
that's how they display
like
the artistic
the hanging ones that put their ass in the
Soleil.
ring. Do a rope. I'm still coming.
Hey.
Get rid of the pole. I'll be there. So who cares about poles? What else?
Man, them pole acrobatics is that shit takes skill, man. Some girls work all the time.
Listen,
they hit the weight room. They hit the weight room for that shit.
Y'all aren't thinking hard enough because I can come up with one right now.
Let's see. Protester.
That's PR.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Poster.
No. What about
posterior?
That's
a booty.
That's the boot.
What about nigga joke?
Huh?
Poultry.
I love chicken.
Bang.
Yeah, you can't hate on poultry.
Yeah. Ain't nothing
and
wrong
turkey.
with
You gotta love turkey.
Listen, but at least I know myself. At least I came up with it before y'all.
That's a good one.
I don't know any of them, so I guess I don't hate. But P-O-U.
There's always an exception.
P-O-U has 2 vowels. That's a double vowel, and I don't think that counts.
No, it's P.O., man.
Is it?
Come on home, man.
All right, checking in with the chat, although they may have abandoned us because our current live viewers have dropped off. But we got Malcolm. He says, laughing my ass off. Everybody saying Cliff Chainmail on purpose now.
Mm-hmm. And I'm going to delete your motherfucking ass.
He said, Grandma.
You ain't exempt.
And then he said, I feel it. My grandma does this multiple times a day through text. Gets on my nerves.
Yeah, no, listen, I'm putting names on it. I wish I could say your name out loud. There's a grandmother. There's an uncle. There is. Let me think.
How many grandmothers do you have, man?
How many grandmothers do you have?
Alive?
What?
He had to think about it though.
So there's more than 2. Is what I'm saying.
What did he say?
Yes.
He said it's more than 2.
No, I got 2 grandmothers. Wait.
I'm confused, man.
I got 3 grandmothers. Technically, if we want to be something, I have a great grandmother that's still alive.
Okay.
So it's down to 2, man.
But they don't chainmail. It's only one. You know who you are, and if not, your daughter will tell you who you are.
Which one it is.
You can always call me, message me, ask me if it's you. Capital personal message. What is that? Not an ampersand. What do you call
colon.
that? Is that a colon?
Colon.
And then followed by your message. Otherwise, I don't negotiate with terrorists.
I think you have a problem with checking messages. Why don't you just not check the message?
Yeah, I do have a problem with checking messages as well. I'm not gonna lie.
But usually it's that he doesn't check them.
You know what? It's not even that. I'm so ill with the messages that if I can't get the gist of it from the preview screen, I'll guess what it is you're messaging me about
and respond based on that.
Right. I won't even.
That's why I always hit you with the multiple single bubble messages.
Sometimes you got to. Listen.
Hey,
honestly,
look,
there's
a line break. I'm hitting enter.
Me. At the club.
Right. 100.
7:30.
I'll guess what it is. That ain't even important. Put my phone down. Just based off of how you came at me at first. Hey, Cliff, good afternoon. Good afternoon.
You're done. You're done. Got him.
Been trying to get a hold of you. I might. Nah, I'm not going to read that.
Because that sounds like they collected.
Right, you could have just said what you've been trying to get a hold of me about.
Right.
Stop it. We playing games. I'm trying to live off grid one day.
Right.
I'm practicing with my phone.
There you go. So we want to hit on either Major League Baseball or NBA coming back.
Major League Baseball.
I mean, I'm not a big baseball fan. So.
I'm not either, but I feel like it is one of the biggest atrocities ever for them to have canceled minor league baseball to come back with your couple 60 games?
Yeah.
Your 60 games.
You mean Major League Baseball?
Minor league. They cut a whole bunch of minor league teams, to the point that major league players were paying the salaries of the minor league because they let go of their squad.
Oh, okay. So minor league said that they weren't going to come back.
Right. So they cut the whole team. They're not getting paid anymore, but we'll keep. What the fuck?
Did they do that with the Clippers?
I don't know about the Clippers.
I don't know either.
I don't know about the Clippers.
Which is crazy because the Columbus
that
Clippers.
shit still exists.
Yeah, dude, they've got one of the best.
Yeah, they've got
one of their best stadiums in baseball.
Listen, they got bigger.
Y'all some Columbus niggas too, and I feel like I missed out on this. because y'all was just saying, man, I don't care about baseball. As soon as I said something about the Clippers, yeah, they got the best team in the farm league.
But that's the thing. The Clipper, like the minor league and the Columbus
Diamond Dog Night,
right? Diamond Dog Night.
I've been there. I remember that.
Stop playing.
But you haven't been to their new stadium though, have you? Huntington Park.
He's been gone since
right.
He's been gone since.
So they put in a new stadium right down by Nationwide Arena.
It's beastie too.
And it is. It's a pretty sweet little stadium.
Don't they got
now the problem is there's nowhere to fucking park.
Listen,
but
I would imagine it's downtown.
You got an Uber.
But it's like it's at an odd spot downtown too.
No, it's literally right behind Nationwide Arena.
Is it?
Yeah. Like Nationwide Arena's on Front Street. It's on Neal.
Who was it? They do a marathon every year that comes down around there.
Columbus Marathon does, and so does Cap City, I think.
And I was working it one year, and we parked over there by that, and I was just thinking, this is an odd place for this.
It is odd because it's kind of tucked
like
in,
alley-ish,
It's tucked in between right behind a bunch of big buildings and a bunch of big garages.
Okay,
and it's that close.
Thing,
yeah,
exactly.
Like the area where you park looks like somebody could definitely catch you walking to your car of a night game, and you may not be seen again.
Right. But
they know you ain't got no money. You just came from a farm league game.
But it's not.
Well, listen, they got.
But that's not any worse than it was when it was at Cooper.
No, they got roofs.
Yeah.
They got the skylights there. Like you can rent rooms, like the rooms that go around the stadium.
You got skyboxes and shit.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. So if they see you in a skybox, you may not make it to your car. I'm just saying.
But the flip side of that is that it's still better than it was down at Cooper Stadium.
I don't remember.
Cooper Stadium? Out on the west side?
Yeah, anywhere's better.
That's like a giant parking lot now.
Yeah, anywhere's better than the west side.
Although I think they put in
for
like
those that don't know anything about Columbus, Ohio, the west side is completely different place.
Yeah,
we don't any other part of Columbus, Ohio.
Columbus doesn't actually go past High Street.
That's how I feel about it. I always used to say, if they do drop
when really High Street's the middle of the city.
If they do drop a bomb on us, I hope it hits the West first, just so I can have the gratitude of knowing they wiped that off, and I had a moment to live without them.
Right.
Before I was vaporized in the dust.
They dropping bombs on the West Side.
Listen.
Oh.
Right. I'm gonna go out and look. I'm gonna go out and look like a solar eclipse.
Well, I mean, shit. Right now, you
like
think
the
there's
Terminator on a fence.
I don't know what it's like farther out on the east side, but on the near east side, it sounds like there's bombs dropping every night. Fireworks have not stopped for 3 weeks now.
Well, that's what happens. That's what happens when we stop celebrating 4th of July.
I'm all with it. Don't get me wrong.
Juneteenth.
I'm not the one calling and complaining about it.
That was Juneteenth fireworks, man.
Juneteenth weekend. That's when they started in my neighborhood.
They haven't stopped.
Right. Listen,
But you remember going to the Juneteenth fair back in the day?
It was at Franklin Park. They did it at Crum Park this year, I believe, or not Crum Park. What's
did they do it this year?
Avenue?
They did do it. Yeah, no, it wasn't Crum Park. It's it's one I get confused with that.
Bicentennial downtown. Good Ale.
Is it Good Ale?
That's where they do like Comfest and that shit.
Might be Good Ale.
Down by Nationwide.
It might be Good Ale. I can't.
I feel like it's either Bicentennial or Good Ale. Like those in Franklin are like the only three places where they do festivals and shit.
But yeah, they had one this year. They did have one this year.
Well, I mean, it got more press than it's probably ever gotten.
I think it was a Good Ale now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, because white folks finally knew about it.
And it was probably
so they moved. Hey,
no,
so they moved
you see white people at the Juneteenth fair. They thought it was like a fair. They thought it was like an art festival.
Listen, right, but I'm about to piss on myself.
I've been to Juneteenth in Franklin Park. Thank you.
I'm about to piss on myself. But I bet the one at Good Ale this year had a whole lot less ass than the normal Juneteenth. I guarantee you that.
That's probably true.
I guarantee there was a lot of room in shorts legs around that area.
Hell no. There's a lot of pockets clapping together.
There's a lot of mixing of pockets is all I'm saying. Now don't play though. You know that was the ass display back in the day. Juneteenth
It was
popped off
a cool
before
little...
anything else. Before the Rib Fest, before the Latin Fest.
Oh, you just mean
that.
it was the first one that would pop off in the summer.
Man, listen, and you could guarantee you was going to see something. Now, you probably see signs and skinny little limbs.
See, but I'm trying to, like, I've been a couple of times, and
I
don't know,
skinny little limbs.
I don't know that I've ever, I don't know, it never really seemed that big when I mean, I've been, so.
Remember we were supposed to perform at the, at the Juneteenth that one year?
Yeah, I didn't think that was going to happen, but yeah. I remember.
They used to have do concerts, local concerts at the Juneteenth.
Yeah, because Franklin Park.
We knew old girl. I knew old girl from the radio station. I forget her name. Her mom. I think her name was. Damn, what was her name? When her mom worked for the radio station, she used to always be there. Jasmine.
Jasmine who?
I don't remember her last name. I know her name was Jasmine. I went to elementary school with her. But her mom or something worked for whatever the radio station was back in the day. The 107.5.
Probably.
106.3.
Well, back then it was definitely 107.5 with power.
It was 106.3 first, then they changed to 107.5. Yep.
All right, that must have been before.
We're talking about 1989 and shit.
106.3 was the very first episode, or very first radio station. Then they switched to 107.5.
Yeah, they used to have,
that's probably before I had a car.
Then they went to 98. Then they went to 98.9. The Odie station.
Magic, yeah.
Then Odie station 98.9 is now 106.3 again.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all got two hip hop radio stations?
Well, we have 107.5, and then we have 102.9, which is a Dayton station.
That comes through. Yeah.
I think it's 102.9.
I think that's right. I don't know, man. I haven't listened to a radio in a car forever.
The Dayton station's better than the Columbus station. That's all I can say.
Hey, I listen to smooth jazz in the whip. I listen to smooth jazz.
My phone.
I was about to say I listen to podcasts usually now.
I do ride the podcast, but no.
I finally understand my dad and my stepdad rocking out to the talk radio.
NPR and shit.
I still rock my rap music and my reggae and my Kevin Gates and all that.
All right.
I still gotta
have
you
a Kevin Gates fan?
Listen, that's my G.
Oh, okay. He's nice. You watched the TV show he got?
No.
The webisode he got was Ask Kevin Anything?
No, I might be. Oh, I have seen the episode.
With his homeboy with one arm? OG Booby Black?
Yep. I have seen one of them.
Well, I like that as a segue. What are just good music that you listen to right now, or like little content things on the web that you find?
But you're going to have to wait because I got to drain a snake.
Because I've been listening to a bunch of the stuff that's been coming out with just from the Black Lives Matter side of things and the protests and all that. Like, have you heard, what is it, HER and I Can't Breathe? That song is fire.
It's about who, though?
HER, I think, is the artist.
Oh, yeah, like her.
Yeah, her, yeah. Her,
the song that's going down here is Lil Baby got Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, I've seen the Lil Baby one. It's that trap music stuff though, and I can't do it.
No, you don't understand, man. Every year Atlanta has a new popping artist, and this year it's Lil Baby.
Yeah.
So everything he does is like gold.
I'm trying to remember. Like I remember seeing his song, and I remember listening to it, but I can't remember what it was called.
I don't know what it's called either.
Damn, that's gonna irritate me now. But yeah, the HER song with it's called "I Can't Breathe," and it's a real kind of just soulful like R&B hit, and it drops into like spoken word in the middle of it too. I think it's really good.
Check it out. I've been doing. Down here, I've been bombarded with hip hop music
for
the last almost 15 years. I've been in studios, interning, engineering, all the type of stupid shit. And frankly, I find other things to be more entertaining now.
Just because you're always around it.
You're always around it, but like I don't know, you just get interested in what else is going on. Like I started listening to Japanese and Chinese hip hop not
Okay.
too long ago, and it's interesting because they want to be us so bad.
Yeah.
But like the subject matter is so soft, but it sounds hard.
Well,
It sounds like you're saying some hard shit, but it's not. It's like the softest shit ever, but it sounds hard.
And I'm assuming they're rapping in their native language, right? Or are
Yeah,
they
exactly.
rapping in English?
He talking about.
But I'll tell you this.
Japanese and Asian artists.
Oh yeah.
I'll tell you this.
You remember
It
Jinu
took me
Shine?
like, huh?
You remember Jinu Shine?
Yeah, I remember. But that nigga, he spoke English though.
No, he didn't.
He didn't.
And it was two of them. The Korean dude.
Lil Baby is Bigger Picture, by the way. That's the.
Oh yeah, that's the name of the shit.
That's it.
But how long ago was it? That had been like a long time ago.
It was it was in high school. It was a project we had to do on Korean music, and I picked the Korean rap group Jinu Shine. It was
that might have been where I got, because I was telling him I've been listening to like, Japanese and Chinese rap, and like I was telling him that the shit sounds hard what they're saying, like it sounds like they're saying some hard shit,
right?
But it's soft as fuck, but it sounds hard, and if you listen to it, like it takes about 15, 20 seconds to be like, man, they ain't speaking English. But
right,
they got you, like you be like, oh,
listen,
what's
they
he
be
just
on
said?
2K.
What's that?
On 2K,
What's
you know
that
they
mean?
do that on 2K
Exactly.
all the time. Them songs, and you be like, and they'll switch. They'll go from English to whatever.
Because they got like Denzel Curry or some shit or some type of American rapper on there. So that's what they do. They collab with American.
Even the Asian artists will switch from whatever their language is to English and back and forth.
Okay.
Oh
like
yeah, like they'll say like a word here and there. Yeah.
They'll say They'll do like a couple bars in English, and they'll go back to the. I can almost do it. I can almost do it verbatim, but I know it would sound racist if I did. That 2K song.
That song. Yeah, I know what song you're talking about. That's what kind of got me on a tangent because I was listening to the boys.
And I was like, they going off, right?
And then I was like, what is he talking about? And I looked it up. And I was like, oh,
shit. You got the translation.
He said, nice flows, eyes closed. You know what I'm talking about? And then he went into his, man, that nigga he went in. He was killing shit.
That's interesting to me more than the rap I hear down here because it's.
No, I'm sure
heard it.
Down here
right.
You've worked with it. You've heard it. You've done it all. At this point, it's almost time for New York to take it back.
Because you think the South is done with rap?
No, not done. Not done.
It's just you need something from the East Coast.
You have less to say now. Like now
it's to the point. Like, let me give you this one.
Right.
It's to the point now where you hear every artist that you hear, for some reason you think they're from Atlanta. You think they're all from Atlanta. Like, there's so many artists that are out.
Right.
That are part from the southern region or the west. I was listening to Roddy Ricch, and like the first couple times I heard him, I was like, this nigga sound like he's from Atlanta or something.
Well, didn't he stay there for a while?
He might have.
Yeah, I think he got people there because even in his song, he said from the D to the A, from Compton to the D to the A. I think he has family in Atlanta. And he lived there for a while. You can hear that style. I thought he was from Atlanta too, but you can hear that style in there.
That he's an LA nigga, like at heart. He's an LA nigga.
Right.
If he stayed out here or whatever, that's cool. But a lot of niggas come out here and go back.
Well, sure his family's from out.
And I hear what you're saying because I think 10 years ago you could definitely Atlanta was a different sound than what you heard from pretty much anything else on the radio.
Well, see,
and now it's all kind of homogenized in my mind.
But that's how New York was.
I can't escape it.
That's how New York was.
I hear you.
You got to think.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's what they did. I used to think that Cypress Hill was from New York.
Right, and they from out west.
That song from Juice. They had that song from Juice. That here is something you can't understand.
Oh, right.
If I could just, I thought that was a New York group.
Did
you? The niggas is from Compton.
No, I definitely didn't think that. Well, my dad was a big West Coast. Like he had all Snoop Dogg, Tupac, Ice Cube, Cypress Hill. He had all West Coast shit. He didn't know Biggie, no nothing up north. He was not a.
Well, I mean, honestly, growing up, the stuff I liked was more of the West Coast shit. Like
I
Pac?
didn't.
Oh.
See, you know what's funny is I'm Pac over Biggie all day. But when we're talking about West Coast over East music, I'm picking East every trip.
So who from East Coast?
Right now?
No, I mean even back when we were growing up.
DMX.
Because you got to remember we've got
DMX.
folks
DMX
I
was
feel you on
my
X.
number. You know, that's all I had in my DMX.
Very charismatic, man.
It's DMX, baby.
He didn't. He was a sound of his own too. You know what I mean? Like he
What?
did so much New York by itself.
Come on.
Mike got ad-libs.
Listen, that's why you gotta keep ignoring him until he stops doing it. You don't. He's like a kid. You can't laugh at him or he's gonna keep
You gonna encourage him.
Right.
Here's what I will say about DMX though. DMX is, I tell everybody this. DMX
State
is the
property.
first rapper ever. No. Listen, DMX is the first rapper ever to scare me. Like I heard DMX on Stop Being Greedy. I was like, man, this man here is not.
Not Stop Being Greedy. It was that one.
But that whole album, it's Dark and Hell is Hot.
Yeah.
It's Dark and Hell is Hot.
It was track 7.
That album.
That entire album, It's Dark and Hell is Hot.
I was like, I don't want to see DMX in the cut. I don't want to see him in the cut.
Although I tell you what, what was it, Damien and the Omen and that trilogy of songs he did?
That one. I don't even want to
buddy.
speak. I don't even want to speak the lyrics of the song because this kind of culture we have now would be on some bullshit.
I got you.
But track 7, if you haven't listened to track 7,
and this is off of It's Dark and Hell is Hot. I'm blanking on
Damien was track 8, so it was the song right before Damien about the dude that broke into the dude's house.
Is this like The Gunman?
Oh shit, man!
You know what I'm talking about? He was talking about the dude's daughter and all that.
Okay, I know which one you're talking about now.
Listen, that was the illest one. That song was ill right. That song was ill as fuck right there. But DMX was the best at telling a story. You could visualize the story. Like that ATF. Boom, boom, boom. Open the door. ATF. Too late to leave my girl downstairs and say he left. Man, he like everything. Like it was DMX put you there.
He did.
So when you listened to that track 7 and you were like, oh shit, like he's talking about some.
I mean, honestly,
crazy
DMX.
shit.
It wasn't. It's Dark and Hell is Hot. What is it? What was his third one?
Flesh in My Flesh. Nope, that was
third
the
one.
second.
Third one.
Third was
X Gonna Give It To You. That one.
No, that was.
You want
that
Party
was
Up on it?
Yes,
that wasn't the third, was it?
Yes, it was.
I thought it was
and I
one
can't
between
remember.
That.
No, that was the third. Party Up, I think, is the one I'm talking about. The one that had Party Up on it.
That was his worst song he's ever made in his entire life.
Oh, no doubt. But I mean, that album was, I think, the first CD I ever bought for
You
myself.
You can't have a white wedding without that song.
That's true.
I'm sorry, Mike. You can't have a white wedding without.
Y'all gonna make me lose my mind. I hate that, man. Come
Smack you with my dick in the mic.
Hell no.
That might be true. You say you can't have a white wedding without that. Ask Shar if y'all played that bitch.
I'm sure we did.
I'm sure y'all did too. I just was too drunk to know.
Play it again.
Right.
Right.
And then there was X. It was his third one.
There was
X. Yeah. I also had Grand Champ, which was 2003. There was one in between that, and then there was X though.
I said that. The first 2 albums.
But no, and then there was X was the third one. It was
okay.
So
It's Dark and Hell is Hot. And Flesh of My Flesh came out the same year.
Right.
Came out the same
It's Dark
year.
and Hell is Hot and Flesh of My Flesh both came out in 98. 99 was, and then there was X. Great Depression was 2001. I didn't have that one. Grand Champ was 2003, which was kind of his last real.
Well, if I'm being completely honest with you, I thought he fell off after It's Dark and Hell's High.
I mean
everybody thinks that.
I didn't.
That's
I thought
happened.
Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood.
The money came.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I thought
so
that.
You
money
saying
came.
you only had one?
I had the second one, but I just didn't listen to it. Yeah, I might even gave that away or something. I didn't like him after the first one. But that's the same with Jay-Z. After, Hard Knock Life Volume 2, I was done with him. I didn't want any more Jay-Z.
I mean, honestly, I think that's pretty standard because I felt the same way about M.
No, I'm not going to say that he didn't come back with some songs after that didn't impress me, but as far as the whole CD standpoint. Matter of fact, you remember we was down in Atlanta listening to the Black Album, and I was like, yeah, I don't like it.
Black Album was one that had massive.
Everybody liked
was
the Black
crossover
Volume 3?
appeal.
No, I didn't like it.
Volume three is where I stop.
Volume 3 what?
Volume Jay-Z Volume 3.
Okay. That's before Hard Knock, isn't it?
No, I don't think. I think it's after. I think that's
right
the one with Big Pimpin' on it.
Yeah, it's right
after.
Big
Pimpin' on it.
That's right.
You're right.
I think
It's right
that's
after.
right.
You are absolutely
That's where
correct.
I stopped.
Well, and it was the same way. I mean, M was the same way. It was Slim Shady, Marshall Mathers, and then
but
Eminem show was
okay. His second CD was.
But that's what I'm saying. After
Marshall Mathers LP.
One, right. Marshall Mathers LP was the second one.
But I'm saying like the first two.
The first two were fire. Yeah.
Right. They were pretty.
And then he started.
You usually don't even get that. Is what I'm saying.
But Eminem show was where he crossed over and was part pop.
And then he did what the encore. Yeah, I don't even think like Marshall Mathers. I didn't listen to.
He has like one or two.
Oh yeah, that was with the I'm a Soldier and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I didn't collapse with Nate Dogg.
Yep.
Okay.
So it wasn't awful.
It wasn't bad. The second one was hot. It was.
No, but the ones you just referenced, that's the third one. That's the Eminem show. Yep. But that's where he started going more and more pop.
That's when the drugs kicked in.
Right, no doubt.
I thought that was when the drugs kicked out.
Well, that might be true. It might be true that they kicked out and then he came back with like relapse and rehab and.
That's what a relapse is, though, right?
Well, I understand, but he came out with an album called Relapse like years after the Eminem show. Eminem show was right before he kind of went into hiding, which is why I don't think it was that good. I think it was him crossing over into pop, and I think he just was like, I think that's actually what drove him to fall deeper into drugs and everything else that was going on.
I do want to say this though, like when it comes to rap artists, your first album is a culmination of your life, for the most part. So you've tried your whole life to get to this place. You got these songs you've been thinking about, and it comes out great. And then like you get paid, and the second album come out, and you're rich, trying to still live that broke lifestyle in your head.
Right.
It's hard. So I think like it's hard for artists to keep making great. I like Snoop Dogg for that fact because my favorite Snoop Dogg album is Blue Carpet Treatment. He's like 5-6 albums in at that point. I feel like he was like finally getting to where he was supposed to be.
I mean, honestly, comedians are the same way though. Like I feel the same way about Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart, his first 2 stand-up specials were hilarious, and his shit now I'm like, dude, shut the fuck up. I don't care. I don't care what you have to say anymore.
You mean his first 2 mainstream?
Agreed.
Because back in the day, that nigga was trash.
Fair.
Paper Soldiers, Kevin Hart, stand-up days.
Yeah.
It was get this nigga off the stage. Who is he? He's awful.
But once he figured it out.
I guess okay. So
once he got the bag,
and then he's by his third one. It's comedians. I feel like it's the same thing as entertainers.
Kevin
like
Hart
music
came
artists.
out, if I'm not mistaken, he was a flop with. No.
He was on Comic View back in the day, I think.
Was
I think he had a couple Comic View spots. That's like 99, 98.
It wasn't. I don't think it was Comic View. It was a. It was like the Def Poetry joint or something like that.
Def Comedy Jam.
It wasn't Def Comedy Jam. It wasn't Comic View, but they came back with something after
like
that. That was on HBO.
Comic View used to be my shit.
Comic View was hot for a while until they stopped.
Bruce.
Until it started getting Bruce, Ricky Smiley.
Hey, I see Bruce all the time. Bruce goes to Walmart. I go to.
For real?
I see a nigga all this. Yeah, he live in Atlanta. I see a nigga all the time.
Cool too.
Everybody like Bruce. He was.
Right. Right.
I don't tell jokes. I just tell stories. So when I'm done.
Hey. He's a fat real nigga.
He wasn't hilarious, but I fucked with him.
You can't fuck with a fat guy.
He was a better host.
You can't mess with a guy calling him fat. Yeah, I know I'm fat. What's the fucking problem?
Ooh, that was Bruce.
Yeah. Bruce was
hey,
shit.
well, that's a defense mechanism.
I actually have. I think I have a Bruce stand-up DVD somewhere.
This nigga, Larger Than Life. Is that what it was called?
I think you're right.
It might be it.
I think you're absolutely right. I think you are.
All I remember is that the title was in like pink and black.
Nah. My favorite black, or I said black. My favorite fat stand up was Crawford, Lavelle Crawford.
Lavelle Crawford is hilarious too.
He lost a lot of weight too, man.
I know. I saw that. He don't even look the same. He can't even do his shit like that.
Where it's like everything scratched
up. Like,
look like a turtle.
Right, yeah, you can't do that no more. You're right.
You can't be fat funny. That fat funny
don't
work no more.
You got, and Jonah Hill fell off for the very same reason. Now he's a director, sir. So you fucked your, you fixed your cholesterol, you fucked your career. So.
Well, honestly, probably not, because directors, I think, make just as much. So, depending on who they are.
That's if he can transition. We're not talking about Jonah Hill here. We're talking about Lavelle Crawford.
Fair.
You seen I thought you said mid-90s was a good movie.
Mid-90s was.
Oh, we got.
Are we agreeing?
We are agreeing here, sir. We're agreeing. Well, I don't know. Have you seen mid-90s?
No, I got nothing.
Man, that little white boy was hard, man.
He didn't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying?
I think I started it, and I think it was not for me.
Man,
I think it was not for me. That was the one. That was the one that Jonah Hill directed.
Yeah,
it's like a skateboard movie or something. Yeah, no, I didn't watch it.
Yep, I loved it.
I watched Good Boys, and I watched.
Good Boys.
I saw Good Boys with the black dude, with the fat black kid. Black kid. I seen that.
And then what was the other one? Was Booksmart was the girls one. Was like the girl version of Superbad.
I didn't see that.
Which was okay. It wasn't phenomenal.
I don't know anything about that. But
my man Luke's shouting out that he just saw someone at the shot, but because he's 20 seconds delayed, I don't know what he said, but. Dude, Luke that I coach with is here in the chat.
Someone at the shot, like Schottenstein
comedian.
Center?
I'm assuming it was one of the comedians we're talking
about.
So Luke, if you're still out there, let us know who you're talking about.
I was about to say, that motherfucker's still open?
I thought it was a Value City arena.
No, you're thinking of
a. They still call it the Schottenstein Center.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I thought they changed the name.
But you're right. I think it's the Value City Schottenstein Center. I think is actually what it is. Because Value City is actually owned by Schottenstein.
Right. I knew that.
Yeah, I know. It's still owned by
that much.
The illustrious Jewish population.
Oh, he's talking about Bruce Bruce, by the way.
Bruce, he was at the
So I guess he was here not too long ago.
Oh, really?
During the COVID?
That's a good question. I don't know. We'll see.
I know his
not too long ago.
No neck motherfucking ass wasn't trying to.
It was probably just before COVID.
That nigga was doing comedy in a bubble. The fuck. But
Luke, if you're out there and you want to join in on the conversation, shoot me a text. I'll add you to the Zoom.
Listen, sir. It's been a while, but
Wait, you guys went so he just sent me back with another coach of ours. Y'all went to go see Bruce and you didn't invite me? Both of you did? Fuck all y'all.
It's all right.
Continue.
They knew you had the DVD. They was like,
right.
Yeah, he'll be all right. He got the DVD at the house. We can go see it.
They know you live by the bootleggers, man.
Right.
Listen,
you walk through the corner, you get the bootleggers.
Man, listen, what was that?
Same night.
What was that? The Main and Wheel corner store right
That's
there.
That's right. Yep, the Main and Wheels.
Too many motherfuckers got smoked there. They had to close that bitch down. But
you're talking about the one in Maine and Ohio. Yes.
In the red, white, and blue one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Well, me and Teaser always used to walk to.
Yes. There's another block over.
That's where all of the bootlegs was. Listen, that's where all the bootlegs was. But they knew you was all right. You had the DVD.
Oh, he said Bruce was there with Martin Lawrence. He said right. Martin and we have a coach.
Yeah, because I definitely wouldn't pay just to go see Bruce.
I would have.
Would you have?
Yeah. Because you know it would have been cheap.
I said, Bruce, who you opening for? You headlining?
Get the fuck out of here.
Call me when you motherfucker.
Oh, man.
Oh, fat perm having ass motherfucker. I'm just playing.
That sounds like something he would say.
That nigga be in there wearing a t-shirt and some sweatpants.
Oh, I bet.
I believe it.
Do we still got that?
You walk past him, you gotta look again. I mean, is that
The neck roll in the back.
No,
the back
no,
fat
do he
neck
still
roll.
got that little braided ponytail? That little,
He does.
that little braided dog shit ponytail.
That's his signature, man. You
That
can't,
is
you
his
can't be mad
signature.
about that.
Old lump of coal ass. Old bad kid on Christmas ass.
All right, you don't want to start roasting this man.
Listen,
you don't get on
it
here.
can be a
Bruce, get on
podcast.
here. Bruce,
What's
Bruce,
good?
Bruce,
You was
Bruce.
just at the shot. You was just at the shot. You might want another one,
You ain't come
motherfucker.
through the east side.
Is Bruce on Cameo?
We can listen. We can do a roast off. We can do a roast off, Bruce.
So I was trying to do a little bit of research. So Cameo is now. So do you know what Cameo
The
is?
singer?
No. Do you know what the web?
It's a group. It's a group. It's not a singer.
right.
It's a group.
It's well, I'm talking about the application. Like, there's a website called Cameo,
No.
and basically it's where you can pay celebrities to like send your friend a message or send you a message or whatever.
Oh, really?
Well, now they're
That's some
doing
bullshit.
for a little bit more money. You can book a Zoom call with them.
Oh, really? How much is the?
That's some
how
Well,
much is-
bullshit.
it depends on who it is.
Oh, we gotta call Bruce.
But I don't think he's on there. So I don't know. We'll have to look that up.
Aaron, go to Walmart.
Go to Walmart,
Go to
ask
Walmart
Bruce
tomorrow
if he'll do a Zoom call.
and tell him we'll,
Hey.
tell him we'll pay.
Hey, let me holler at you real quick.
Right.
Let me holler at you real
Hey,
quick.
we'll pay you.
Holla.
Come by the TVs. Come by the TVs
You
real
and
quick.
Dave
Let me holler at you.
Chappelle, boy. He love that Dave Chappelle.
That's not Dave though. That's what's his face.
That was Dave's friend.
Yeah, exactly.
But, yeah,
but
it was Dave
no,
Chappelle.
I know it's on there.
That was the janitor.
Let me holler at you.
Let me holla at you.
Where his eyes are all going crazy and shit.
Oh wow, man.
But go
That's
to
the next
Walmart,
thing I'm
bro.
gonna have to rewatch on streaming is just Chappelle Show.
Go to Walmart and we're gonna have to have a belt made for the roast off champion.
We'll
Man,
just
I
put
gotta
duct
catch
tape
him.
over the
I've
over
been-
the
I've been
here
UFC
for-
on
I've been here
that.
for, I've been on the west side for about like 3 years. So I've probably seen him about like 10 times in 3 years.
Go to Walmart
So-
tomorrow. If it's meant to be, he'll be there.
Hey, I'll see you there, man. I'm gonna hit him up.
Go
I'm
buy
trying to hit
a
him with-
case of water and toilet paper in case his second wave hit.
Nah, nigga, I'm gonna go to the Walmart deli and give me a bucket of chicken. Try to parlay some shit.
Just drop it off with him.
I'm gonna slide the cart with the chicken in. I'm gonna slide it to him. You see that chicken player?
Right.
That's
You see
yours.
that chicken
Yeah.
player?
With your foot from a sit down
Exactly.
position across the. Take that right there. Read that note.
My number's at the bottom of the chicken pie.
Don't lick your
Hey,
finger.
nigga.
Read that note. You might smudge the
Oh
words.
man.
Listen, and I'll roast your motherfucking ass. And I'll roast your motherfucking ass, Bruce. It's a young man's game.
It is though.
And I ain't no comedian.
You trying to be
Who?
sometimes.
Hey, you try to roast a comedian? That's like saying it's like trying to box a doctor. That's what they do.
And I've done
Comedy.
that too. Lord knows
Hey,
I ain't.
well, I wish you luck in your endeavor, my friend.
Listen,
Right.
I'm still here today,
I see. No,
so I
you-
must
you
not
ain't
be
gonna lie.
bad at it. I have no problem
Hey.
making a fool out of myself. You hear what I'm saying?
Oh, no doubt.
Listen, let me give you, for all the young children out there, if you want to succeed, have no problem making a fool out of yourself. Every now and then, you make the shot. And everybody's like, oh,
What is it?
shit.
You miss every shot you don't take.
Listen, you do miss
That's
every shot
MJ,
you
right?
don't. And even if
Hey.
you miss the ones you take, you're bound to make one eventually.
My
That's how you get women.
It's funny.
That's how you get women.
It's funny that you bring that
That's
up.
how
so
some people get women.
It's
No, that's how most niggas get women. We all been rejected. All three of them.
No, I'm not saying that I've never been rejected.
That's how you learn not to say that shit no more. Because, hey, what's up with that ass? Oh, my bad.
Listen, back in them days, that's
might have
very
worked.
accurate. It's an accurate statement. I get what you're saying. But listen, we came from the right after Freaknik era where you could just
True.
right.
With them cheeks, though.
You feel what I'm saying? That wasn't even inappropriate back in the day. With them cheeks,
That's so
dude.
inappropriate right now.
They used to tape condoms over their eyes like an eye patch.
Wasn't that TLC?
Oh, Left Eye did
You
that.
feel what I'm saying? Like these are that's a female.
It's true.
The story behind that's funny though. The story behind that is actually it's a good story.
So
what you got? What is it?
Listen, I know a story that might have
No. It's just Left Eye lived with Jermaine Dupri.
JD.
They lived together when they were like 15, 16 years old. He let her stay at his mom's house. And they would just think about wild shit like let's cut our eyebrows off or some shit like that. And she kind of came up with like the whole little wear your pants backwards shit, the crisscross shit. Like she kind of came up with that. Like that was her thing. Like she was like, y'all niggas wearing these outfits, not wearing backwards ain't no different. She started wearing backwards, and that was her whole shit. Like little condom with the eyeglass. That's just her being like, this is some weird shit. This is how I get noticed. This is how you're gonna notice me because we're still talking about to this day.
Right, it's true.
Condom with the eyeglass.
She ain't wrong.
Left Eye. Her name was Left Eye, and there was a condom over her left eye. You get what I'm saying? Like her whole shit was being different.
I just think she took a couple too many money shots to that motherfucker and was like, you know what? Let me get a catcher's mitt for this bitch. Because
we
this
don't
raw
speak
dog
too,
ain't
too
working.
ill in the dead. Chill.
You gotta put a condom. You got eye condoms
been
now.
a while.
You got eye condom. You got condom contact lenses.
Listen, because if you knew Left Eye from when I knew Left Eye, she wore glasses without the lens in it, and the condom was open.
This nigga, damn. Like she getting fucked in the eye. Hey man, God rest the dead, man. We talking about Left Eye right now, man.
Right.
God rest the dead.
I wasn't even saying that. I was just saying she had a catcher's mitt in that lensless glass. You can believe that.
You talking about, not today, I caught you today.
Oh my gosh. Oh, Andre Rison. Reconstruct your burnt down house. Let's change the topic.
I don't know what else we got left because we didn't have a ton coming in here. What do you got?
Oh man, that's hilarious. Left Eye.
Looks like we've got some more folks joining us in the live stream. So if you've got any questions, throw them into the chat. We'll try to pull them in.
Hey, welcome everybody.
Welcome.
Yeah, welcome.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
You know, we're gonna take
I got
tonight.
a pretty weird question that may lead into. Okay.
Who you asking this question to?
To anyone.
Uh-oh. Open question.
Open question, including the chat. Okay. Are y'all ready? And this is just me.
I'm waiting on bated breath right now.
Who? Listen, you lucky I don't know that.
I wasn't even gonna say no. I was gonna just be quiet.
Right.
Like,
who do you?
I'm gonna get a dictionary out.
Right. He has a thesaurus on bated breath. Listen.
This motherfucker.
Who do you think has a more efficient tongue, humans or dogs?
Efficient?
Efficient. Efficiency is the key.
Efficiency towards what?
Just efficiency.
Tasting? Like tasting?
Just efficiency, sir.
I'm gonna have
It's hard to pinpoint that.
I'm gonna have to go with dogs. Because one, they use it to cool off, so panting is how dogs cool off.
I was looking for that.
And on top of that, they can also like lap up water. And humans really can't. Not quite as good as not with your tongue, no.
Not quite as good as a dog. Okay, so that's two. Okay. So
Jay's asking efficient in what way? Which I think we've already covered.
I've never had a dog. I've never had a dog, so I don't know shit.
Okay, so how I came up with this question is because I was eating either chicken or steak the other day, and I had a piece caught in my teeth, and I was thinking, like, you know how something can be caught in your teeth and it adds like pressure to your head?
Absolutely.
Like you gotta get it out to release the
pressure.
It's
barbecue season. I've been grilling corn and shit, and corn always, like corn on the cob always
does
gets
it,
stuck.
But it's never big enough to give me like
steak
that pressure.
And red meat,
it's
especially.
always steak or like.
Yeah, I feel you.
Like So what I was thinking is, I couldn't imagine being a dog and not having the hands to be able to pull whatever that was out of my teeth. And then I thought about it, like, you could probably, like, I get it a lot of times with my tongue. So I'm sure...
Our teeth are a lot closer together.
Exactly. Now, listen, I wrote that down, too. We got different teeth. It says here, we got different teeth. So that factors in as well.
I can see that.
You saw that different teeth?
On a piece of paper, I saw it.
Right, you saw that.
Look at it. It's right there.
Fuck yeah. But also, if you were looking strong enough, I also have an argument here, too. And
I can't see
So can I give you Jason's answer in this?
No, you cannot. I'm not interested. You will have to wait until your next guest slot, Jason, to talk that ignorant shit you're talking. What did he say?
He said, I mean...
Nope. Nope, Jake, we don't care about your tongue, sir.
So wait. I have to, though. So, because I said the chat would be engaged.
Is that your boy with the bird?
Uh-huh.
Your boy with the bird?
That's my guy, Judy.
So he said
Judy.
his tongue could be pretty efficient eating some ass, if that counts. And then my buddy Luke chimes in with, they can get at their twig and giggleberries too, talking about dogs.
They can, but that's not tongue though.
Yes.
No. That's
They do everything. Dogs do everything
anatomy.
with their mouth.
That's more anatomy.
Dogs do everything with their mouth.
So you're telling me if a dog had the same size tongue in our body, they'd still be able to get to their twig and giggles? No, they would not. Their anatomy, their hand
there are
them.
some guys that can do that in our anatomy.
Hey,
I don't know.
we got to pose the thumb.
Well, no,
we're doing the same thing with different mouths. A dog is masturbating with his tongue.
That's a trick.
I got my hand.
You think, but that's the thing. Even a dog Okay, so let me give you my argument.
We're gonna talk about dogs masturbating now.
No. So you
Red Rocket.
You said
what else are they doing down there? They be down there a long time.
You said
doing
lapping up water.
I did.
You said what else?
I said they also that's how they cool off. That's the way like what we do with sweating. That's what they do with panting.
Is that how they keep their nose wet, or is their nose just wet?
Their nose is just wet.
Okay, yeah, I don't know.
Okay, I don't know.
Twig and giggles. We can put that to cleaning / pleasure.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's go over the efficiency of the human tongue.
There's not a lot. It burns. It hurts.
Speak alone.
Should be enough.
Shits all the other. We use it to clean as well.
Who's to say a dog couldn't speak?
What do you mean? You
clean
a wound? You lick a wound? You clean your fingers after you ate ribs?
Who's to say, though, that dogs couldn't speak if they had the intelligence?
I don't know if that's cleaning.
What's the difference from you cleaning barbecue sauce off your fingers than a dog licking
It's not my dick!
What's the difference,
That's true.
What's the difference?
With my fingers, you know when you lick your finger, you know when you lick barbecue sauce with your fingers.
Right.
Does it actually clean?
You still gotta wash your hands.
Right.
You still gotta wash your hands.
It depends
you still
on how
barbecue
good
sauce.
you clean your
You need that water underneath the nail to get that barbecue sauce off and that chicken skin if you got stuff. You've been doing like this the whole time on your teeth, trying to get that barbecue skin off your goddamn shit.
Well, that also depends on your fingernail length as well.
I'm a player.
Clearly.
I'm not a player. I just crush it.
My shit's
Look how clean. Look at that pinky nail. Look at that. It's perfect.
It sure
Perfect
is too.
pinky nail.
Listen, you must be, baby. You must be a player. Just keep that.
No, I'm not. I'm not a player.
Just shut the fuck up.
Isn't that the line?
You just keep that pinky out of a little Ziploc. That's all I'm saying. Right. Just keep that out of that Ziploc.
Woo!
You fucking fool. Okay. So, speech. We use it for cleaning. We also use it for pleasure. And I would argue that we use our tongue better for pleasure than a dog does.
Because of the pleasure of a woman?
Correct. Because if a dog did it better, then you would see a lot more dogs eating out other dogs. And you very rarely ever even see a dog in missionary, which means that dogs don't like to be on their back.
Man, I feel weird talking about this.
I'm just saying.
But dogs, man.
They don't. Dogs don't be eating each other out.
They do. They do. Dogs meet each other by smelling each other's asses. Right?
That's
they go in and smell
though. And how do you know that? Wait, time out. Time out. How do you know that they're not cleaning that instead of pleasuring that? You don't. Man, you don't.
This is weird, man.
You don't. I just feel like the humans have the better...
There's definitely been another dog looking at another dog. And
right, but how common is that, though? How often do you have two dogs together and you're like, them motherfuckers is over there licking on each other? You don't see
I never
that.
had a dog. I've never owned
now,
a
you
dog.
put two humans around each other, a man and a woman, them motherfuckers is over there licking each other.
Hey,
we don't even need to see it. You feel what I'm saying? You could be behind a curtain, and all you gotta do is say, them motherfuckers is over there putting mouth on each other. I know that for a fact, Jack. You can't guarantee that.
I love what girls. I love what girls do with their tongue. So you're right. There is count. If you know how to, if you understand the counterclockwise of, I'm not gonna go too far in, but some girls.
You think a dog can do that better?
Down.
I don't think so.
I don't want to know.
I'm just saying. I think that the human's tongue is more efficient. If it wasn't, we wouldn't be able to speak.
I also got humans can use their tongues to whistle as well.
Ooh,
who
did that? Jason?
Yeah.
He's a smart guy. He always thinks outside the box. Never thought of that. That's correct. What else?
I don't have an argument for that.
What else do I hate that starts with a P-O, Jay? How about that? Since you know every motherfucking thing.
Things you love that start with a P-O. You hate everything that starts with a P-O.
Oh, right.
Was this concept.
You're right. That's correct. What do I love other than poultry?
There was another comment that I think YouTube blocked, so... from Jay.
Yeah. What, about the butt?
I mean, I think you were talking about a man and a woman. He said a man and a man can too, because he loves some.
I'm not trying to discriminate against you and your preferences.
And that's not our fault. That's YouTube's fault.
I'm only talking from personal experiences, my friend.
Right.
Personal experiences, my friend.
And I don't know that I'm willing to figure out what you talking about. Let's be 100.
All right. I'm done with this question. What's your next question?
Listen. Okay, next question. How many years away do you think from open alien contact are we?
Open? Meaning we already have had it, right?
Right, we've already had alien contact here. I mean,
aliens got an Instagram page or something?
Right, exactly. Like not like that.
But we're acknowledging that they're here.
Right, like Trump takes his
or they show up
wearing ass out there trying to shake hands with a motherfucker.
What if that's the whole reason he got elected in the first place?
Listen,
aliens and
shit. I will or will not say that there's a very interesting, and if it's up to me, far-fetched podcast episode on Sam Tripoli's tinfoil hat about the Trump family and their connection to the Nazis. And the Nazis' connection to Nikolai Tesla.
Okay.
No, not the aliens, but Nikolai Tesla.
Okay.
And certain experiments that he had did that people thought not to be complete that actually did complete. Right, and they may have.
Are we talking about some some prestige level shit?
Could be. Right.
Can I ask y'all this?
Okay.
Can I ask y'all this?
Do y'all think a lot? Listen yourself.
I think a lot of this is new old stock, right?
Is what?
Our percent new old stock. That means this is something that seems new because it hasn't been touched.
Right.
But it's old. For
right.
And what I'm saying is that like our time and our perception of time is so short that I'm almost to the point where who's to say 20,000 years ago what was happening? Because what we have right now is so fragile and malleable.
I agree.
It can be out. It can be out in 2,000 years, and
I
you
agree.
can just regenerate. And then they dig some shit up. How'd they build this building? What the fuck?
Well, I mean, that's the whole thing, right? And I mean, it's funny because it's at the root of a lot of different cultural concepts.
What?
Is the existence of, whether you call them the first men, or you call them extraterrestrials, or you call them something else. Some people referred to them as gods. But the fact that a lot of mythology in our overall human history revolves around beings that were appeared to be supernatural to us.
Right. You're absolutely correct.
And Jason's chiming in the chat, like, there's been documents that were released confirming the existence of extraterrestrials. Like,
well, no, Jay, because
I'm coming different. Let's got like one small point.
No, of course, continue. Right.
Like one of the things I'm getting at is like electricity. It's like, it's funny that to think that people just now think that electricity was harnessed within the last 20 years.
Right.
I think that's ridiculous.
Yeah, no.
I think if all of us look at the sky and people see a lightning bolt and see how it happens, it hits this tree every time. You get thought from that. And all I'm saying is that you can't tell me like X amount of years ago that somebody was like, man, let's make electricity. Let's make radio lines. We can talk over a distance. It shouldn't have been that hard because we just did it 20 years ago, and it wasn't that hard then. You get what I'm trying to say?
This is the thing
but that's what you're seeing now.
A lot of philosophers think that time's not linear. It's not linear. It's not meaning that this started here and then we developed over this time. No, each society has their own circle, and sometimes we find history from that circle. We may not find what they developed in the future, but the pyramids and all that is a very good example of, it's like, well, how did they do that? Well, how would we do it? How would we do it if we did it, honestly?
Yeah.
We'd probably do it the same way. It's just we think that because that was so far in the past that they didn't have the ability to do or think in that way. And that's asinine.
Right.
What would make you think you're smarter just because more time has passed?
The Chinese...
What were you saying?
The Chinese dynasties were known for, when they changed dynasties, to burn all the educational books. They burned everything from the last emperor, because you're going to believe what I believe.
Right.
That's like, think about how much information was lost.
Think about, and it's not just that. Like the West has been the same. Like, if you look at Western history, a lot of that same stuff, like the library at Alexandria with the Greeks, like, that was stuff that disappeared.
You know what? You just said it. You just said it. I think, listen, that's
Eureka.
An epiphany. Right, that's an epiphany. Because, hold up, let me make sure. You just said it. So it seems to me...
And maybe that's what we're in the middle of now, and it's just something that we've never really been able to document, because it's been documented, but history's written by the victors. Go ahead. I don't know if that's the track you were going on, but that was the track that got spun off of that.
That's real shit, though. That's real shit. That's what the Bible is.
The Bible is.
So what I want to hear your thought. I'm just trying to fill the dead air.
Now I kind of want to still be able to explain it the way I saw it.
Go for it.
So to me, it made me feel like, okay. So let's put it like this, and I could be very far off with this. But if history, or at least what
we are fools, so that's okay.
Right. And if history, or at least what we say is true, or at least what we believe to know so far is true, then it would make sense. Because they say that, of course, we know that the oldest human on this earth is supposedly black. Lucy, black.
Yep.
Now, whites came from blacks that left to what is that? That the northern of the equator.
Right. They left. Jane Elliott has been talking about it in her recent shit. Her ancestors left and went north of
Pangea cleared up.
Basically,
you can't
England.
get back across to where. So now you gotta.
You're in a place with less sun, so you have to adapt.
So listen. Now follow me. That would mean that there's not a whole lot in what do you call it? Like the same way they say white people get killed more than blacks, but not per capita.
Right.
Per capita. So per capita, there would be a lot more people of color than there would be people of non-color in that small region you were stuck in, I guess you could say. So
which is varying levels of color.
Right. So what I'm saying at this point is, when you think of human nature, and when I say human nature as in it's very animalistic nature, we knew, and when I say we, I mean we as in people of color, knew if you lose, there's a chance you pay with your life.
Yep.
There's a chance that I'm a slave for the rest of my life because I chose to try to conquer them. White people never understood that. Because there were so few of them, there wasn't enough to conquer. You feel what I'm saying?
It wasn't worth conquering them.
Exactly. It's just us here. Now, when you leave and you venture out and you start conquering, now you see, okay, they have to pay. You feel what I'm saying? When they lose, they have to pay. But it was never we have to pay. Because if you notice, just as life goes, like even from this country personally, when white people lose, that's when they play victim.
Yep. That's
not when they nut up and they say, I guess I got to put my head and give you my neck.
Right.
No, then they play victim. Like, oh, shit, I didn't know. No, bitch, you did know. Or you should have known. If you stepped to me and you lost, this was going to be the consequence.
So it's funny you say all that, because the way I look at that is, why did the progenitors that left and moved away from the equator,
right?
Why did they leave? Because they were weaker. Because
I don't think that was it.
But I think I think that's exactly what it was.
I don't think that was it.
Because I think that starts to go back to, like, when you talk about why in general blacks are better athletes, we say that's because of the slave trade.
No, I agree with that.
But because that's the way they were bred, right?
Now listen.
But I would take that a step further and say, what if it goes back further than that, and people that ended up becoming white people were the weak ones that left the herd at the equator?
See, I don't know if
went north to get away from people.
I got a small theory.
I'm rolling off of your theory, so I'm like...
Well, wait. Don't add that to my theory, because that's not...
I said I was rolling off of your theory.
Can I add a side?
What you got, Eric?
You actually brought up a conversation me and my pops have all the time.
In Africa to this day, and this is just me.
Right.
So, I like you. I could be very wrong.
Spit it out before I forget mine.
All right. Look, albino people have been around for a long time.
Right.
And even in Africa to this day, albino people are hunted because they're seen as mystical, whatever. Like, you have white skin.
Right.
So if that was the case, you would want to move. Get the fuck out of here.
But no, because that's not that they had that skin when they moved. When they moved, we were all the same.
No, you can be born albino and have an albino family. That shit can happen.
That's true.
Right. But even albinos, you can tell even a black albino.
Look at an Irish person with red hair. That's not the same as a white
person in a black albino. It's not the same. There's no way to correlate that.
Look at my, like I said, it's my theory. When you look at Irish people,
right?
Now I think Mike, are you Irish? I don't want to go around.
I mean, I've got a little Irish in me.
I've got Irish in me.
Okay, but that's like that is like close to the whitest
that you can be
race ever, right? And albino is like the whitest.
But
you can be.
There were white Irish or black Irish too, from the Spanish.
No, I'm not saying that's not. People walk all over the world. What I'm trying to say is that, look, like I said, I could be wrong. Now I guess I'm wrong because I'm getting a lot of rebuttal. What I'm saying is that
no, don't think like that. I could be wrong.
No, but I'm standing by what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that if you turn out there's gene things, right? You've seen cases where two dark people have a child that's lighter than them.
Yep.
Right. That's also happened.
I was just
Right.
talking about that
So
today,
you have outcasts, people
Malcolm
that don't feel like they
FB.
belong. So imagine if I was an albino and I found an albino girl. We had an albino family, and that shit just grew.
That wouldn't make no. That's still.
Well,
that's
the problem, because albino would be a recessive trait, so it wouldn't carry on generation to generation necessarily.
What's that shit called? Was vitiligo?
Right, but that's still different though. That's what I'm saying. That's still different.
I'm just naming different diseases.
Right.
Yeah,
I get it. But what I'm saying is there are albino people that have had kids with black people who have had black kids. Mm-hmm. That didn't mean that they're kids.
They got accepted.
And that doesn't mean that if two albino black people come together.
Actually, it does, because if they're recessive, if it's a recessive trait and you had two albinos that mated, you would end up with an albino offspring.
It's like two midgets. It's like two midgets.
If two small people. Similarly, this is high school biology.
And let me finish. If you had two albino black people that had kids together, they would not come out straight-haired and blue-eyed like Mike. No, they would not.
Not with blue eyes.
No, it wouldn't. They would still be black. They would just be light-skinned black. You see black albinos with wide noses and big lips. That doesn't mean that if two of them come together, they have a alt-right baby. Doesn't work like that.
I hear what you're saying, but what I'm saying is, if you're this is biology. If you have a recessive trait, so blue eyes being a recessive trait. If you have two blue-eyed people that have a child, they will have a blue-eyed child. But if you have
a brown-eyed recessive black, meaning an albino, with a blue-eyed regular white, that baby's still gonna be brown-eyed most likely.
Fair.
Because
but when you said,
even though that's a recessive trait, that's still dominant as in black.
But what I was saying was, if you had two albinos, their kid's gonna be an albino.
Right, they're gonna be light, but that doesn't mean they're gonna be white.
Fair.
That's what I'm saying. Is
true.
Just because we have two light-skinned
blacks,
but that's
why I'm also saying. But that's also why I'm saying this is
to
the point. This is multi-generational in eons of.
But what I was saying,
genetic inbreeding.
What I was saying before I get out, before I lose my thought based on what you said, I always have this conversation with my pops all the time. All of the African Americans that you see here, at least in my opinion, are the weak slaves, are the weak blacks. Because, and follow me,
I know where you're going.
These are the ones that
These are the ones that got caught.
These are not even caught. We lost. Because everybody always says slavery was in Africa too. Yes, it was, but it was slavery of war.
Right.
It wasn't we sold people in. Exactly. You chose to attack my tribe. I took you as a prisoner. Now you're my slave. That's completely different. So listen.
Go ahead.
So the people that got sold into slavery were already the losers, already the people that attacked this squad and lost, and now it's just a simple situation where I can get money off of them where I would lose money trying to feed them. Let me sell them to these white folks and they can have them. I'll take this money. Now listen, because I'm coming back around to what you said as well. Now where they fucked up was you sold us to some ruthless people that worked us 16-hour days, took our children away. They made us hardened. They hardened us. They made us stronger. They made us faster. They made us more equipped. Now we're stronger than the Africans, and that's why they hate on us to this day. That's why they come to the United States and they're like, yeah, they aren't real. Well, yeah, because we're stronger than you. Because we went through more than you did.
Well, and on top of that, this goes back to the original of...
And we mated with people bigger than us.
African American blacks. That whole process. I got like that whole
You made
process
monsters. Y'all made monsters.
It was that was a.
And I don't mean as a monster, as evil people. That was you made monsters. Process. That's what y'all did. Y'all made monsters.
But that's my whole point: is that blacks in America were bred the strongest,
just to be a monster,
strongest of the
out of everything.
And blacks in Africa were not. The
Right.
ones that were left in Africa,
And
that wasn't their primary goal.
And why do you think that the racism comes to us from them
Completely.
Because now
I'm
they
not
notice.
disagreeing
Now
with
they
that.
notice. Oh shit! Now
Right.
you're stronger than us, and you're just as fast and all. That's
It's more than that.
that's like
It's
saying
more than
I'm
that.
the problem is
I
there's
work
just
with
not
Africans.
enough of
I work
you.
with Africans.
It's a lot deeper than that.
No. Africans think that we're privileged.
Exactly.
That's the real problem. You got AC
Right.
and running water.
Well,
I'm not saying that to be racist, but like I've known some people who are like lost children.
But let me be
child
mean
soldiers
shit,
and all
though.
that shit.
That
They
means
didn't know
nothing,
their
Aaron.
age or nothing.
That means nothing. That means nothing at all. That means nothing at
What?
all. I would much rather lose a child to being sick and drinking fucked up water than someone taking them from me and making them work for a living. Beyond having me around. You feel what I'm saying?
What are we talking about now? What were we talking about?
Well, we were talking about. You were talking about.
In South Sudan, they were kidnapped for war.
Right.
They were kidnapped for war.
I get it all.
They were separated from their family. They came to America. I'm just saying, I work with some of these people. Their stories, for real, like
absolutely,
right,
are incredible.
But that's that's beyond. That's after. We're talking about after that. We're talking about
nigga,
after.
that was like 10 years ago.
Right, motherfucker. It's been more than 500 years. How long have we been over here? That happened after we were already gone. I don't have no sympathy for that. I have no sympathy for that because maybe it wouldn't have been the same if we were there. You feel what I'm saying?
The flip side of that is, as if you had been there, you wouldn't have been bred the way you were bred here.
Exactly. Now ask me the same reason. Now, do you think
I'm not talking about that. You're talking about opportunity.
Yeah, I'm not talking about opportunity. I'm just talking about I'm talking about physically. I'm talking about all of that. I'm talking about.
But
you're talking about how black men were explicitly
not black men
made to mate. Were made to mate with women that are of athletic status to make better children.
I think we're talking about two different things.
I agree.
Here. I think from a purely physical standpoint, I understand what you're saying, Cliff. I think what Aaron is saying is that based on his experience with folks that have immigrated from Africa,
right.
It's not necessarily about what you're saying. It's about the fact that that in their mind, Americans in general are more privileged, regardless of.
That's all I'm saying.
And I get that. And I get that. And what I'm saying is, bitch ass nigga, what do we have to go through to get here? That's what I'm saying. The same dude you work with.
As a generational thing.
The very same dude you work with, bitch ass nigga, what did we have to go through to get here? Not your green card. Not coming over here and
he doesn't
getting a work
visa. He doesn't have a green card.
What did
He's
we
a refugee.
as generations have to go through to be this strong?
Look,
it's not like we just ended up being that. We had to go through shit to get there.
Look, just check me out. I know you can't hear me right now. Just check me out.
I hear you. Check you out.
There are some people who have been through extraordinary amounts.
Understand.
Trials and tribulations. All I'm trying to tell you is that there are some people whose stories who have touched me so much that it's like, okay, you do know what struggle is.
No,
I can't tell you don't know what struggle is.
I'm not saying no one knows.
That's all I'm trying to say. Like when they come here, someone like I can talk bad about.
Let me just say one thing. This is the problem with where we are today. It's either you are or you aren't. There's no in between. There's no in between. No one is saying that because we've struggled so much, no one else did as well. I'm just saying that I myself don't have to acknowledge it. I don't have to acknowledge that. I don't have to acknowledge that struggle. And ask me why. You don't have to, I'll tell you. Because we make up 13% of this country, which means that all of the people that came before us struggled the same way we're fighting right now. Now, as far as the war, now listen. Now, as far as the struggle on Blood Diamonds or whatever the fucking case may be, listen, it doesn't matter, bro. What we're talking about, you're talking about war. You were talking about war. The specific war you were talking about has guns involved. Right or wrong?
Okay.
Right. Has guns involved, right? which means
which means that it has been going on since after. It wasn't before slavery, because if these white folks knew that there was diamonds there, they wouldn't have gave a fuck about our black asses. Let's be honest. It wasn't before slavery that this happened. Now, I'm not saying that people did not struggle, but what I'm saying is, as a whole, as a group of people, we are the only society in the entire world that you can trace back struggle to. You can't do that with all of them over there.
And I think
you can't do that with all of them. There are people that have lived privileged lives and still got brought into a war-torn situation.
But I think what you could look at from a refugee standpoint is that refugees that are coming over here, while you feel that's how they feel about blacks or African Americans, I feel like that's how they feel about Americans, in the sense of being privileged from a... You've got running water.
I'm sure.
You're not, and I don't think that attitude is just directed at blacks. It's just that they get thrown into. Hold on, they get thrown into the same situations that you're in, African Americans, and so you're the easy target because they're not sitting in white neighborhoods being able to say and feel that same way.
That's why it's even more bitch to me.
I hear what you're saying, but I'm just saying. That's why you're even more of a
bitch to me, because the very people that have been oppressing you and us as a whole, you choose not to aim for because
you're the ones that are around. That's fair. That's fair.
Because y'all are bitches. And I mean that as a whole, mostly y'all are bitches. I'm not going to say I don't know cool ones, but as a whole, y'all are bitches to me. I haven't met too many Africans that didn't make me feel like, oh, you think then let me whoop your motherfucking ass and see if you feel that way. But you would then be playing the victim as your oppressors did, right? So you get to oppress me until I get mad enough to want to put hands on you.
I think that's different. I mean, personally speaking, I think I've got a different experience because...
because you haven't seen it from...
I haven't seen it from your perspective.
Right, you haven't seen it from the perspective of your own skin color do the same thing that someone...
All right, so like this is like real quick. So...
Go for it.
I'm from Columbus, too. I lived there for a little while.
For a little while.
You know what I'm saying?
You wasn't there too much.
I know about Somalians.
Whoa.
No, because I'm bringing.
Whoa. Let's not single out any specific.
No, I'm not singling out shit because I work with Ethiopians, right?
Let's not single out any specifics.
No, I'm telling you about people I work with. That's all I'm telling you. I'm just telling you about
I'm calling
them.
all y'all bitches. I'm not discriminating against none of y'all.
Well, there's definitely white parts of Africa.
I don't care.
That's what South Africa is. Like I don't even want to go to South Africa for real because of that. Because it's not even Africa. It's just another little section that y'all took from it.
Once again, y'all let that happen. Why don't you discriminate against them? Discriminate against the South Africa. Do they?
I think
are they just now this past 2 years trying to take land back the motherfuckers took from them? Stop it, man.
I think that's been trying. I don't know, man. I'm not gonna speak on another country's politics. I'm not well versed.
Because we're Americans, we don't give a fuck about.
Yeah, I don't know. I know there is real.
We got our own shit to worry about. God damn it.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. I'm not really well versed in that. What I'm trying to say is that Africa's a continent, and in Africa there's extreme separation. Like in between black communities and things like that.
That's by design. It's all by
design. I know it's by design. So what I'm trying to say is I'm just trying to like.
So if you know it's
why can't I listen and empathize with my African brother and be like, okay, I get what you're coming from. That's all I was trying to say. Like in the beginning, like
I get what you're
when
saying.
you talk about African people, like look, I can listen to your story. And I want to hear what you have to say.
Aaron,
I want to know.
Let me ask you a question. If you know that this is by design, then why would you assimilate to their design?
What do you mean assimilate? I don't know what assimilate means. I'm not
assimilate means to take on their views. So if white people are already...
No, I'm just listening. I have my own views. I have my own views.
No, listen though, bro. Listen.
You're talking about Africans assimilating
listen to what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
White views.
Period. That's what I'm saying. You get oppressed by white people in South Africa right now with y'all's bitch ass. Then you come over here and let the same white people in North America do the same thing with y'all's bitch ass. But then you turn to us and you say, "Oh, you don't deserve. You ain't real black. I don't even know why they call you African American because you never been to." Fuck you, nigga. Go back to that country you talking about where you getting fucked over, right?
Yeah.
Let us fight our fight. Because clearly if you're not here to fight it with us, then we should be sending y'all back the same way y'all sent us here, huh?
Which is exactly why, if you've seen Black Panther, and Wakanda decides to open up the country and say, we need to protect our black brothers and sisters across the world. You just now got that
happening only in certain African countries. Ghana's done it.
I hear you.
Ghana's done
it. Nigeria is a good place.
But they haven't done it yet. Now, why is Ghana smaller than Nigeria, but Ghana's welcoming all the black folks back, but Nigeria is arguably one of the richest places over there, aside from the southern places. But you didn't say that with y'all's bitch. That's why I'm saying fuck all that. I feel like let's just do it. Let's just get to where we're going. There's no purpose in, like I said last week, hiding under the blanket.
Yeah.
At this point, we have to address it. And I'm not saying physically or violently, but I got to address this. This is how you feel, right? Well, I feel this way. So let's talk it out. Or let's fight it out. Or let's do whatever it is that we have to do to feel comfortable with where we are right now. But right now, I don't feel comfortable with anyone that looks like me being here, so-called getting privilege from our privilege, but you're not fighting the fight.
I hear what you're saying. This is where I wish we had an African immigrant that we could bring on the show.
I'm gonna call you after this. I'm gonna call you after this and give him the story because it's intriguing. If anything interesting.
Show him the podcast.
No, I mean I don't know him anymore because I don't know where he's at in life. That was a long time ago. It was like.
And don't get me wrong. Anybody that knows me knows because I have a lot of African friends too. But I don't give a fuck. If you're not one of these people, clearly I'm not talking about you.
Right.
But if you feel that I am, fuck you, bitch nigga.
Well, and to your point, you're talking about immigrants, African immigrants that come here and are directly shitting on basically African Americans that
right.
Too, I almost forgot about this. Because this is what really pisses me off.
Right.
What really pisses me off is that, to your point, when I go to the gas station now here, there's Africans owning the gas station and they act like I'm somebody else. You get what I'm trying to say? Like Africans own the gas station, but they don't claim themselves to be black.
Right.
Like the corner store is owned by an Arabian dude who was born and raised in Egypt, which means you're African, but you still look at me like I'm different. You know what I'm trying to say? That's the other part. That's the second side of it that I forgot to say.
Listen, let's just call a spade a fucking spade. Because, I'm a nigger, you're a bitch. Let's be honest. If that's how you feel about it, that's what I am. But what you are is a bitch. Come say it to my face. Tell me something. Work it out with me. Let's talk sign language.
From a business standpoint, I have a real problem with gas stations in black communities not being owned by black men. And there's been a rash of
that's any business in black communities.
No, but listen to me though. But this is something that's like, to me it's like news that shouldn't be news. It's like, a black man owns a gas station in Florida. That's not news. That should happen a whole lot more often. Like, I don't even want to hear about that.
Well, it's the same thing. It's the same thing with grocery stores. Like,
we're operating under different rules.
But gas stations are way more important than grocery stores.
They are, from the sense that they're more prevalent and there are more of them.
You can't get to the grocery store without gas.
Without gas, I hear you.
Nah, that's not necessarily true.
Public transportation.
How's the bus gonna get there without gas?
That's true.
It doesn't matter. You don't need as much gas if it's only designated to the bus. But if you buy your gas, if you buy your gas and you live in my neighborhood, you should buy it from me.
But that's also my problem with in general is that we are right now, and we talked about this with the Killer Mike and Trigger Warning. Like,
there's no way.
There's no black-owned fucking grocery stores.
No, I saw that episode.
And listen, let's be honest.
That nigga lived down the street. Killer Mike lived down the street. He lived in the Ville.
And let's be honest. Let's be honest. If there was, what's to say that y'all won't bomb it again?
I
don't understand when I say y'all. I know. I love you, my brother.
I'm not worried about it.
But what's to say that though? You can't say pick yourself up by your bootstraps when we're the original ones with the fucking bootstraps.
Right.
But you
and
took them and you burned them, right?
What do we do? Burn it down.
Is that what you think I was saying? Is that what you think I was saying? Did you think I was saying that?
No.
I don't think that's what you were saying. I think Cliff went off on a tangent in the sense of
no. That's not at all. No. Now, if I thought that you were saying some...
but here's the flip side of that is...
Let me know. Let me know. This is an open conversation. This isn't anything that anybody should
see. I'm the white guy, so I don't know.
Say what you say.
I am saying I don't know that happens today.
You don't know what happens today?
That if there was a strip of black-owned businesses, that they would get away with bombing it today.
But would they bomb it?
Possibly.
Right, and that's
would they get away with it?
See,
the attempt of debauchery will be made. The attempt of debauchery will be made.
That's where we are currently. Where it's like, I don't care if it happens as long as they're punished for it.
Yeah.
What sense does that make? We care that it happens. If it continues to happen, I don't care if you punish every person that did it. I don't want it to keep happening.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Strap up.
This is where I think
if I see you on my property, you're not supposed to be there. You're doing something stupid. You're getting shot.
Don't disagree. Disagree with that.
And I'm not calling the police. And if you show up talking crazy, you might get shot too.
And I think that's fine. I'm in full support of that.
Right now, this is my home. I don't feel comfortable with you or them. If you approach or encroach, I will smoke.
Not opposed to any of that.
And it's sad that we even have to take that kind of attitude about it. But when the own country that you expect to protect you doesn't, at what point do you say self-preservation is more important than my perception to the world?
No,
I don't give a fuck.
That's where the right to bear arms comes in at. The right to bear arms is based upon that principle. I shouldn't have to wait for you to make the decision of whether I should live or not.
Well, and I mean
wait for that decision.
That's the whole thing with what's the only time the NRA has supported an assault weapon ban? When the Panthers showed up on the fucking steps of the LA courthouse.
But listen, let me
those are assault rifles. Those are just regular rifles.
Let me explain something to you.
Bolt action rifles and shit.
To the people that are worried about that. If I really wanted to, I could get an illegal gun like that. Honestly though, it would take me 2 calls to have an illegal gun for cheaper at my front door than it would take me to go to Vance's and have to deal with somebody seeing I'm black and wondering if
it might be less reliable. It might be less reliable unless it's a Glock.
Not even unless you know.
Glock always reliable.
Listen, unless you know what it is.
Right.
There's a lot of reliable rifles out there if you know what it is. Listen, there's not too many Ks. There's not too many AKs that aren't reliable.
We're talking about rifles.
Y'all need to come to Georgia. Y'all need to come to Georgia. We just go to the store real quick, and I can stick y'all up.
I'm just saying, regardless. Like, so when you see situations like this, because one of the illest things that I heard when this whole situation happened was guns were flying off the shelves.
Yeah.
But then I also heard from people that it was harder to get a gun if you were of a certain race.
I'm sure.
That's a lot. No,
down
here, that's not the case. I went to the store. They was like, "Hey, what you want?
Aaron,
look at this gun right here.
Aaron,
223, clown.
Aaron, you may live in the
most racist place in the world. Yeah, probably.
Aaron, that's like you're playing tag right now, where Georgia may be racist as fuck, But Atlanta is home base. And if you don't want to leave home base, you don't.
And they've still got cops killing people.
Georgia.
That was in Atlanta.
No,
Rashad Brooks was Atlanta.
That one, I don't even listen.
Look. That was at a Wendy's.
And
Which is still in Atlanta.
Regardless.
No, I feel what you're saying, but that was
wrong.
Look, man, look.
That I'm not even. You played that wrong. And I'm not trying to take anything away from it, but let's be honest. You played that wrong with your dumb ass. You played it wrong. God bless the dead. You played that situation wrong. Anytime you point anything,
you talking about Rashard Brooks?
Whoever the one at Wendy's was.
The Wendy's?
Correct. Anytime you point anything at the police, you better understand something's coming back at your motherfucking ass. It don't matter if it's a cell phone. It doesn't matter if it's a finger. If you point anything at the police...
But that shouldn't be the case.
But it is. We don't operate under the same rules.
It wouldn't be if it was a white
that's
person.
A mental health.
That's
a mental health thing right there.
But is it a mental health thing for the police or is it a mental health thing for him? That's
both
where...
sides.
No, wait. That's where
both
the situation gets deeper. And it's funny
both
that you
sides,
jump so quick to him. Because I think it's more so for the police.
Okay.
That says both sides. Look,
that's where the real mental health... Because you got to think, anybody is going to try to save themselves. Anyone. And the man said over and over again in the video, my kids are at the house. My kids are at the house. So after a while, that made me wonder, are they at the house by themselves? Is that why he's in such a, like, trying to get out of this to get home?
You know what the story is? You know what the real story is? They're trying to say that he had a girlfriend at the Wendy's and he was trying to go pick her up or some shit like that. That's what they was trying to say.
And he fell asleep in the line. He wasn't going to pick her up in the parking lot. He was going to pick her up in the drive-through line, and he fell asleep.
I'm just saying what they're saying.
And while he fell asleep, she never got off work in time to get out and say, "Babe, you're asleep in the car. Wake up."
You know what? You know what else? They saying that same white girl he was waiting on was the one that burned the windows down.
I bet.
I believe it.
That's on the news.
That's
on the news.
Now that I do believe. That would be the one thing about the story I would believe. But what I will also say is, no, I ain't gonna say it. I ain't gonna say that. Nope. But what?
Listen,
go ahead.
Might as well say it. We done said everything else. Goddamn it. Fuck it.
Nah, because I'm still because I know, like I said, I've said it 3 times, at least 3 times today. We don't play by the same rules, and I've already said too much. So I'm definitely.
Hey, look. I will say this. Here's what I'm gonna say.
What?
I'm a 6'4", maybe 5, black male. I'm about 275 right now, and I try my best to talk with the utmost respect because I know if I flinch, you're getting shot.
No doubt.
You're not finna fight me. You're not finna fight me. When I get out the car, you're gonna be like, "Oh, this is a big ass nigga." I'm not finna fight this man. So I know what you're saying. The rules will be like, you don't point. If I'm in the car and I go like this, I'm gonna get shot. You don't.
Well, I've been shot before, and it's not that fucking bad.
No.
So
and look. No, but look. Here's the other part. Here's the other part.
Here's the other part. Easy about it. If that's what we're doing here, just understand that you better not miss.
But that's the flip side.
You better not fucking
miss. Cops are trained to shoot to kill.
I'd have been.
Y'all don't. How many shots did it take you to hit him in the back?
I hear you.
Like no,
you better be quick on that draw, or you better not fucking miss. Because if you hit me one time, at this point, police and civilian goes out the window. Now it's me and my life, and that means
that's when they got 9s no more. They got rid of 9s for that. They got 40s now. Yeah. They want to do 40s on
Don't miss.
With the hollow tip.
Don't miss though. 100.
Get that hollow tip in the back. Make you think.
And I agree. Don't miss.
Don't miss. What I'm trying to say is that look, unless I got a reason to buck off and run, I'd have been did that. I'm not pulling over for shit.
Listen, I'm not running.
That's my advice.
Anyway. If I wanted to fight y'all, I'm gonna fight y'all whether y'all got the taser or not, and I'm not turning my back. Now that's one thing I do know about police is you don't turn your back to them motherfuckers. Now if you gonna shoot
you don't turn your back on nobody.
Straight in my motherfucking face. Now yes you do. Now that's where you may be wrong.
But you don't turn your back on nobody.
If you can get away, you get the fuck away. Now how often do people get the fuck away from police?
Not much.
Now, how often do people run from getting jumped and get the fuck away? Sometimes running is the best thing to do. When you're dealing with the police, no sir.
I can't hate on that.
No,
you know
sir.
what? I ain't got nothing left. I'll give it to that. I think I should have ran a couple times in my life.
And I should have. But at the same time, I stayed with you too.
The decision on a hot plate.
We took them L's together, baby, and we didn't have to.
We took that whole L.
We didn't have to.
Waited on it too.
We take those L's together, baby. That's how it is. You are beyond a brother of mine. If that means we die today, we die today, baby.
That's
I just died with somebody I love. That's all I can ask for.
And I think that's a good place for us to end. We're at 2:15. So
this was a hostile episode.
It started off that way. I thought we had some good shit in the middle.
Time out.
What?
What you got?
Fight Night Champion.
Listen, stop it.
Well, let's talk about it off air.
Well, wait. There may be, because there's no way that you're about to AA what you do and we talk about it off air. Just know that whatever your challenge is, I accept, and we'll talk about it off air and agree to it at a later date. But I accept whatever it may be.
I'm not backing down with shit. Whatever it is, that's all I'm saying.
Let's do it.
Let's get it, and we can talk off after.
And next week we are going Thursday. Is that what we decided Thursday night? Because I got to leave Friday.
Right, and that's fine. I'm off Friday too. So
all right.
Thursday's fine.
I figured everybody was off on the 3rd. So.
Whichever.
You going on vacation, man? You going on vacation?
Yeah, we're heading up to Buffalo. That's what we do. So.
That's good. That's what's up.
Oh, you going?
That's a good vacation.
I'll talk to you about why it's not afterwards.
Oh.
So with all that being said, Aaron, where can the people find you other than over at the with the the fucking Nobody's podcast? Anywhere else?
Actually, that's the Instagram.
All right.
At a fucking Nobody's podcast.
Good shit.
But other than that, I'm a ghost.
I understand.
It's all due
Don't
respect.
follow me too close. Love everybody. I got a piss.
And I am Michael Reg. You can find me at The Geeky Coach. Check us out on at Foolproof Net on Twitter. And like, subscribe, all that good shit. Share. Do us a favor. Share our video. Share the channel. Help us hit 50 subscribers. We're at like 38 now. We get to 50, then we shoot for 100, and we might be doing some things. So I appreciate all of you. Thank you for listening tonight, and take it easy.
Stay on for a second, cuz. I got pissed up.